Hi everybody, I'm wearing my big mittens. My hands were very cold. Oh, so you want to wonder what it is. They're thermal mittens that you put in the microwave and you warm them up. And in theory, they're supposed to warm your hands up. So we'll see whether it works or it doesn't. Hey, let's see who's going to be the first one in today. Hello, who's going to be first? Somebody's in. Somebody's in. I've got one viewer. Well, I've got two viewers now. So somebody's bound to say something soon, aren't they? And not leave me here talking to myself, although, I can do that a lot. I do a lot of chatting, yeah. Hi, Nathan. Numero uno today. I've got my big mittens on. Oh, dear, they look like boxing gloves, don't they? Hi, Amanda. I've got my boxing gloves on today. It's not raining today, Asta. I won't say it's brilliantly warm, but it isn't actually raining, so that's a good day in itself, isn't it? Yeah, just getting my thumbs and my fingers back to life again. That's why I'm wearing these silly mittens. Ah, well, it's been a hilarious day so far. You love the hot mittens, do you? Yeah. They are nice and warm. They just look a bit stupid, don't they? Oh, hello. Wish that phone had stopped tinkling. It does it in the middle of the night. Very annoying. I'm always afraid if I turn off everything that it won't make me up, won't wake teeth in, it won't wake me up with the alarm. Hi, Juanita. Hi, June. Hi, silly mittens. I'll be all right. I'll take them off. I promise. I'll take them off when my fingers warm up. I'll take them off. Yeah. Now, I've had a really silly day today, if you've been watching my videos. Hi, So What's Knitting? Hello. I went in the shed and I made a beautiful video, showed everything and everything like that. And then I dropped the camera. And the camera knocked itself off, but wiped my video off. And I didn't realise until I came to upload it. So I made the second video laughing about what had just happened. And then I came in here to upload the video and it didn't upload because there was nothing. It had deleted itself, yeah. Hi, Lydia. So I went in later to make another video. Gets everything ready, does the video. The blinking clothes rail collapsed. Everything on the floor. So I, being the trooper that I am, I thought I'll carry on going. So I did. And then didn't I only knock the tripod over with the camera on it? So I thought, oh my goodness me. Time to just give up and go in the house and stop it for the day. So tomorrow I will be going out armed with my duct tape and my hammer. And I will knock that clothes rail into submission. It's a pile of poop, honestly, it really is. It's very flimsy. It's not one of Amazon's best, is it? Mind you, I suppose Amazon don't make it, do they? They just sell it. But it's not one of their finest. But then again, the choice is like you buy a cheaper one or you go to the other extreme that costs you an arm and a leg. And I wasn't prepared to pay that for a temporary thing that I was putting in the shed. And I was so proud of that shed. It was so tidy. And I thought, oh, well, I'm getting somewhere. Now it just looks like an avalanche has happened. Anyway, tomorrow is another day. I shall go back in there and see if I can sort it out properly. Armed with some very, very strong. Well, it's not actually duct tape. Ooh, knocking everything over. It's not actually duct tape. It's very, very strong. I don't know if you can see it or not. It's like a kind of a duct tape. That is what I shall be mending the said clothes rail with. I shall be doing that tomorrow. Oh, my fingers are warming up now. It's nice. My thumb's still dead, but apart from that, I tucked my thumb in with all the others. Well, everybody's suddenly gone quiet, apart from Lydia said hello. Has my chat stopped working like it sometimes does? I hope not. Somebody say something, then I can see that it's working. Huh? No. Apart from Lydia saying hello, it's stopped. Somebody say something. Feeling like Billy No Mates over here. Ah, thank you, Lydia. At least it's working. You're making your lunch good. I was beginning to think it'd stop working again, yeah. So what's everybody up to tonight? What you all doing? I'm going to do some crocheting when I get my fingers warmed up. I haven't done much really. I just sort of had a couple of days where I just didn't feel like doing anything. Yesterday I was like, ugh. Wasn't ill. Wasn't nothing wrong with me. Just didn't feel very lively. And my son was exactly the same. So whether it was the weather or what it was, I don't know. But today I felt differently. I got up this morning and everything was fine. So it must have been just one of those days. Hi, Chris. Hello. I'm wearing my mittens. My silly mittens. Hi, Carol. I'll take them off in a minute. I promise I won't go through the whole video, the whole live wearing my mittens. It's just that my finger ends were very, very cold. Yeah. Are they on backwards? Well, I don't know what they are. I've not got the thumb in. That's probably why they are on backwards. I'll put my thumb in. There you go. Is that better? I don't know whether they're backwards, forwards, or what. I don't know whether I've got the left one on the right or the right one on the left. I don't know. I just put them on. They may be backwards. But I keep taking my thumb out so they spin round. My thumb is warmer when it's inside the mitten itself, not inside the thumb. I can look like Rocky Marciano, is it, or Cassius Clay? You could never wear them out, could you? You know what I mean? You couldn't wear them on your scooter or anything, you know. Hey, Trudy. I feel like I've got puppets on, you know, finger puppets, yeah. I'm going to take them off now. I'm feeling faintly ridiculous with these on, yeah. Yeah, me mouse hands. How do they heat up? You pop them in the microwave for 2 minutes. Hey, Daniel. Yeah, you pop them in the microwave for 2 minutes. You're knitting a jumper for yourself. I'm supposed to be crocheting, well, a cardigan, one of those hexagon things. I started it last week, if you remember. If you were here last week, I'll have to put my fingerless mittens on, excuse me, people. Can't be coping and my hands are cold. I never used to have this issue, but getting old is such fun. It's so much fun getting old. My mother used to say that. You just finished a hat. It's super chunky. Oh, that's nice. I've got some lovely purple, super chunky merino in the shed that somebody gave me last Christmas as a Secret Santa present. And I am hoping to make a hat. And I didn't make it last year, so I'm hoping to make it this. Have they got lavender beads in? No, they've got beads in, but they're not lavender. They're just beads. No, you microwave them, Chris. They haven't got batteries. You just microwave them. Oh, thank you for the thumbs up. Oh, you're off to bed, are you? Where are you, Trudy? You're in another part of the... Oh, yeah, I've got Raynaud's. Well, undiagnosed Raynaud's, so I can't say I've got Raynaud's. I think I've got Raynaud's, which is a different thing, isn't it? All I know is I get white fingers. It could be just poor circulation, so we don't really know, do we? Yeah. They're a bit silly, though, these, Daniel. Honestly, they are a little bit on the silly side, aren't they? You know, they're a bit big. You'd have to have hands like a boxer, wouldn't you, to get in those? And I don't know why they've got those stitchings down them, because they're not separate fingers. Oh, you're in South Africa, Trudy. Aha. Well, you enjoy your sleep then. I never know where people are. I'm useless with times. They do warm your hands up, but you feel really stupid wearing them. I mean, I wasn't expecting them to be so huge. You know, you order them off Amazon, don't you? And you're looking at a pretty little picture. And they didn't look that big, actually. So when they arrived, it was like, oh, gosh, yeah, They're like boxers' mitts, aren't they, you know? But you can only laugh at yourself, can't you? You have to, don't you, these days? Oh, it's sipping temperature. That's good. Got me Los Angeles, as he calls it. Hey, Mrs. Yukon Cornelius. I know it begins with a G. Glenda. Am I right, Glenda? People's names. But got old and brain fadey, you know. But I do try my best. I used to have a piece of pen and paper when I first started doing the lives, so I could write everybody's name down because I used to feel awful forgetting people. Yeah. Oh, Gloria. I got the G right. Oh, gosh. Why do I have to have things like that? Hi, Ethan. Hello. You have to excuse me drinking it while it's hot because I don't like it when it goes cold. Oh my goodness me. Trixie came underneath my legs. I wonder what on earth it was. What are you doing, Trixie? What are you doing, Trixie? Trixie just scared me to death. She came right underneath my legs. I wondered what it was. Daddy wants you.
Trixie, come on. You've got a fire.
Oh, I know. She likes a fire. She likes the fire, she does. Go on with Daddy. Follow Daddy. That's a good girl. I knew Daddy would win out. Excuse me while I close the door a bit. Oh. Ah. I wish I could have some music on. It would be nice if I could have a bit of music on. But I know I'll get flagged for copyright if I put any music on. You know, it'd be so nice, wouldn't it, Jack Beads? It'd be so nice, wouldn't it, to have a bit of music on in the background. Not dead loud, you know, but just a bit of music, yeah. I miss a bit of music, yeah. Never mind. Oh dear, I just saw some. You hate music. I'll give over, Chris. You don't hate music. You maybe hate my music, but I'm sure you don't hate music in general. I don't like music. You know, that horrible stuff they play in supermarkets and in the lift. Or get earworms. Yeah, I've been listening to reggae, so I've got reggae in my head going round and round. For some reason, one phrase is stuck in my head. It's a song and it says like, she's royal, so royal. And that's just stuck in my head. She's royal, so royal. So that's me, of course. Nobility. Oh, no woman, no cry. Yeah, I like that one. For some reason, when I say to Alexa, will you play reggae? They always play red wine. God only said red wine then. Or red wine. They always start off with that. Then we always get a bit of Bob Marley, yeah. But tell you what I'm not liking about Amazon recently. Not Amazon, Alexa recently. If you ask them to play something like ABBA, it then says, we will play you some ABBA and similar artists. And the similar artists bear no resemblance to ABBA, you know. I mean, at least with reggae, I do get reggae because I'm not asking for a particular artiste, am I? You know, just getting reggae in general. But if you ask for something like George Michael, they'll say, we're playing George Michael or similar. Apparently, if you want to just listen to ABBA, George Michael, or whoever, you've got to pay the extra, yeah? It's only $4.99 a month, really? No, thank you, yeah. Hello, Greek Stitcher. Now, let me think. Brain's dead. Let me think of a name. Oh. No, it's gone. I think you're another one that begins with a G. No, you're not. I'm going to have to start getting a pen and paper out. I'm writing everybody's name down again. I'm going brain dead. I really am going brain dead, yeah. Never mind. Hey. So what's everybody working on tonight? Or if you're not working on anything, how are you cooking or what are you doing? I'm not doing anything at the minute except drinking my coffee. I'm hoping to do a wee bit of crochet later. Hoping, she said. I've been off my crochet for the last 2 days. I think we all lose, whatever you call it, Crojo, Knit Joe, whatever you call it. I think we all lose it some days. I don't know anybody who's consistent every single day. You know, people have an off day, don't you? I think, I don't want to do anything today. I did make the mistake of starting reading, well, I thought it was a very interesting book. And I got stuck into that. So once I start reading, that's it. I don't like putting it down till I've finished it. I procrastinate such a lot. I really do, Chris. I think I've got a degree. I've gone past the GCSE. I've gone into the degree, a degree in procrastination. I can always make up hundreds of reasons why I'm not doing something. It probably takes me longer to make up the reasons why I'm not doing something than if it would do if I actually went and did it, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You're finishing a wool sock. Right, yeah. I had socks on the other day. First time in about a year I've had any socks on. I had to put socks on. My little feet were freezing. Absolutely freezing. So I went and found some, they were like pink furry socks I had on. Then it meant I couldn't put my boots on very well because it was a bit squishy. They're a bit thick here. Yeah. Oh, I just heard a bit of bad news. If you follow Tracy Crochet Rocks, her mother-in-law died this morning. So she said there would be no videos for a couple of days. Hey, it's always worse, isn't it, when anybody passes away just before Christmas or just at Christmas? I know people are entitled to pass away on whatever day they feel like it, but it's always worse, I think, when it's a high day or a holiday, because it means you think about that, everyone to follow, don't you? Thankfully, none of my family did pass away at Christmas or anything like that. Yeah. Your crocheting beanie hats for your children, yeah. Oh, that's nice. You're crocheting hats for all the children on the bus. Oh. Now you make me want to sing The Wheels on the Bus Go Round and Round. Hi, only me. Hiya. Shall we all have 2 choruses of The Wheels on the Bus Go Round and Round? And then we'll give Chris an earworm. Are you doing them all different colours, or are they all having the same colour? Because that could cause problems if somebody loses a hat. They'll claim somebody else's hat, yeah. Unless you put the big initial on the front, you know, what the name is. I used to have to go coat hunting when my son was in junior school. You know, if he had a new coat or a lovely coat. I'm not blaming the mothers, but the mothers must have known that their kid was coming home with a brand new coat on that wasn't theirs, you know. So I had to go, you know, saying to the teacher, has anybody got a coat that's not theirs, blah, blah, blah. You know, I did, touch wood, get the coats back eventually, but, you know, it was a bit of a struggle sometimes. Even though he had his name tag in. I think the kids must have thought, oh, that's a nicer coat than mine. I'll have that coat. Yeah. Oh, you're having different colours. Yeah, boys, you tend to go blue, don't you? Yeah. Yeah, I did see about Elise. I didn't know whether she'd broken up with her boyfriend or whether it was just that she'd bitten off more than she can chew with that house project, because it was overwhelming, wasn't it? I mean, she was wrecking every room. It wasn't like she moved in and then did a room at a time. She was just wrecking the whole thing. I think it just got probably too much financially to do all what she wanted to do. You know, with your first house, I think you should start smaller and work your way up, kind of thing. That's what we did anyway. Yeah. You're making Christmas ornaments. My friend's making Christmas ornaments for our Christmas fair, which is why I'm not doing them. She's making them so well. I thought I'll let her carry on doing them. She's doing such a good job with them. Yeah. I am considering giving it him back because I don't like it. No, it's too tall. It's really, really tall, and I don't like it. It's like swaying as it's going along. It's ridiculously high. It just about goes in the garage. It's silly. I've seen another one I like, so I'm going to ask them. I'll have to break my contract and I'll have to pay, but that's by the by. I am not keeping this for 3 years if I'm not happy with it yet. Yeah. No, she didn't mention her boyfriend, but she must be still in his house by the look of it because he's musical, isn't he? There was all this piano stuff, wasn't there, and everything in the background. It's probably that she had very grand ideas for that house, didn't she? That would cost an awful lot of money. And she was relying on her boyfriend's dad to do most of the work. And it's probably financially not viable, Well, I was going to ring them today yesterday, because I felt blah, I just didn't get around to it yesterday. I'll try Monday. Yeah, try on Monday. Yeah, but there was so much that wanted doing to that house, wasn't there? It was a money pit. I mean, this was a money pit when we moved in this, but we paid so little for it comparatively to all the other houses around here that, what we spent on it has now brought it up to the value of all the other houses around here, yeah. Oh, your mum died on the 9th, yeah. It's, yeah, you wonder, don't you, if it's exactly a year later, yeah. I will have to pay to exchange the scooter because they were very good with me. They didn't make me pay for breaking my contract last time, but they will do this time. But I'm expecting that. But I don't want 3 years with a scooter I'm not happy with, And then I read the bump that comes with the scooter and it says, don't put the sides down if it's windy. And I thought, that's what I got it for, to stay out the wind and the rain. Don't put the sides down if it's windy. Huh? Excuse me. So in other words, why have I bothered getting one with a top on it and sides if I'm going to get... Because the rain doesn't come down in Fleetwood. The rain comes sideways off the sea and batters you, yeah. So if I can't put the sides up, what can I do, yeah? I don't know. I might have to pay the same, but I mean, I'm paying £40 a month more for something I don't like, so I'm kind of not happy. And I like to be a happy bunny, as you probably know, yeah. I mean, they didn't show it me before they brought it. They just said they were bringing me one with the top on. And when they brought it out, I sat there here watching him put it together, thinking, God, it's so tall. What's he brought me one like that for? What does my message say? Oh, the message is from the Urban Gypsy page. If I go on that, it messes my phone about. I have to look at it on my computer if it's a message for Urban Gypsy. My phone's gone all weird anyway. It keeps asking me to give permission for some SMS or something or other, and I keep saying no. And then it keeps messing about, and I'm trying to text anybody. It keeps going off. I'll have to get my son to sort it. I must have pressed something. I always do. I never do anything on my phone deliberately, but I must press the wrong key. And then I get these weirdy messages keep coming up. I mean, the last time I did it, I must have turned it on to for the visually impaired, because it kept talking to me. And I said, and it's going, which one would you say yes? Would you say? And I thought, I don't want that. Take it off. Anyway, luckily my friend, when I went to the library doing my knitting, I'm going, no, she managed to take it off for me, so I didn't have to ask my son. And she said, what did you press? I went, I don't know. If I knew what I pressed, I wouldn't press it anymore, would I? But this phone's always doing strange things to me. Mind you, my son said apparently my daughter-in-law does the same thing. She says she doesn't press anything and things happen on her phone. I'm sure they're possessed. I don't want anything that does anything more than this phone does, because then I would be in trouble, because if I had an Apple phone or something like that that I could, would tell me what my blood pressure was and stuff like that. That is a recipe for disaster with me, because I am absolutely technophobic. I really am. My niece's phone, a watch. She does everything with her watch. She pays the bills. She pays everything. That is a step too far for me. No, I just like an analog phone or whatever. I'm glad I'm not on my own. You were getting messages in another language. Well, I was getting them for the visually impaired, yeah. He was talking to me all the time saying, "What did you want to know?" Ah, I don't want to know anything. Just put me back to my normal settings. And I kept turning it off and turning it back on again, hoping that it would, sort itself out, but it didn't. Yeah. I've had to sort my bed out and all. Hi, Sina. Oh, yeah, Sina, isn't it? Hi. I've had to sort my bed out. My bed's one of those beds where you pull it up from the bottom and it goes up like that, and you've got storage underneath it. But there's a gap at the top where my pillow is. And all of my appliances, like I've got the phone or I've only got a little tablet thing, go straight over down the back, and then they finish up in this bottom bit. So I've got to get out of bed, put the light on, raise the bed like that, and try and find where it's disappeared to. Anyway, today I've rolled a big bath towel, put it along the back. I thought, I'll get my son to put a piece of wood there, because I am not, keep losing things down the back. Anything that's small or whatever you might have in bed with yourself, down the back it goes, yeah. Oh, you love my shed. My shed is a mess. If you watch the video, the rail collapsed again. So after me saying, "Oh, look at my shed, there is nothing on the floor," Karma was waiting for me saying, "Ha ha ha ha, we will put a spoke in your wheel. We will collapse your rail." Anyway, I'm going out tomorrow with my gaffer tape and my duct tape or whatever it's called, and my hammer. And I get that flipping thing to stay together. I have to hammer it together. I think what happened was I pushed it together, and not having much strength in my arms, I don't think I pushed it far enough to lock it. So the rail that was holding all the clothes just fell out, because it's the plastic rubbish, aren't they, and it just fell out. So I've got garments on them all over the place. So tomorrow, that is my task in hand. I shall be out there with my very strong tape, very sticky strong tape, and a hammer. If I can find my son's hammer. If I can't find my son's hammer, I will use my hammer, which is usually the heel of my shoe. I'll use anything if I can't find the hammer. I always remember talking to a lady one time, and she was a Jewish lady, and they owned a beautiful, like, hardware wholesalers. And she was doing something, and she had the butter knife. And I said to her, "What are you?" She said, "Oh, it's a Jewish screwdriver." I said, "You own a warehouse full of that sort of stuff." And she went, "Yeah, I know, but in this house, this is my screwdriver." She said, "A Jewish screwdriver." She says, "The butter knife." Oh, I'll probably hit my finger. That wouldn't be me, Sina. Yes, Carol, it was the new rail I just bought. It was absolutely a pile of poop. You've either got two choices, haven't you, when you're looking on Amazon? You've got the reasonably priced ones, down at the bargain basement end, or you've got the ones at the other end that are about 50 and 60 and 80 pounds, some of them. And I'm thinking, it's only a temporary measure for in my shed. I'm not paying like 80. If it was going to be in my bedroom and it was going to be like my wardrobe, I would have bought a good one, that would hold everything, yeah. But I thought, no, it's only going to be temporary, you know, and hopefully, fingers crossed, when I sell the crochet, I won't need it, yeah? So I didn't want to pay a lot for it. So, of course, it goes on Amazon and gets this thing, and it's a bit like my scooter. I look like I've joined the, what do you call it? Who does that? These Indian dancers, don't they? I used to do ballet when I was a kid. You know, I've still got the arms and the very expressive arms. My dad used to say to me, put your hands behind your back and describe to me what you're talking about. And he said, you can't do it, can you? No, Dad, because I have to use my hands to tell people, yeah, or to describe things, you know. If I'm giving directions, I'm terrible. I nearly blind everybody, you know. You go right, you go left, you go right. So never ask me for directions. I never know where they are anyway, especially around here. When I lived in Prestwich, I knew streets, I knew where things are. And now, no. You know, I'll say to them, where's Asda, where's Aldi, where's Lidl? And they go, oh, will you go up so-and-so street? And you know that big monument with the what's it on it? And I'm like, no. Well, you turn up the side of there and that's where Asda is. Oh, really? And of course, all I get off my son is use your Google Maps. You've got your Google Map. Have you ever tried holding the phone when you're on a scooter trying to find things on your Google Maps? Yeah. Doesn't work. And no, I haven't got a phone holder because I think that makes you a target for somebody to just grab your phone. I don't carry handbags or anything like that when I'm on my scooter. Everything's firmly moved away. Because I think they think, oh, no, dear, toddling along on a scooter, we'll just whip a handbag, you know, we'll just whip anything. I mean, they can have my beads, like my 99p off eBay, they can have my beads. I never wear jewellery anyway. I've got gold in my earrings, but they're probably worth about 3p. But apart from that, I mean, watch, I think I paid £5 for it, of everything £5. Yeah. I'm not the queen of bling. Some people are. They're like a walking jewellery shop, aren't they? How would you be so scared? It's like people who go abroad and used to wear them thick gold chains around their neck, and then they used to wonder why somebody on a scooter used to drag them down the road to get the, you know, or the handbag over their arm. Somebody riding past on a scooter used to grab their handbag, didn't they? No. I worked in a job centre in a very, very deprived area. So you had to keep your eyes on your eyelashes, because if they took your eyelashes, they'd come back for your eyes around there. Yeah. So you never had any. They'd steal just ballpoint pens, anything, you know, things of no value. You had to have nothing on your desk. Somebody once stole me rubber stamp, you know, that you stamp things that said Salford Job Centre on. Somebody stole me rubber stamp. I mean, what good is that? You know, unless they thought they were going to stamp it on something, official documents or something. Oh, yeah, they do. They do that around, well, not around here so much, but they do that in the UK. You know, if you're in Manchester or London or somewhere. That's why I would never have an expensive phone. Never. You know, I see in the paper kids getting these £400, £500 phones ripped out of their hand, and I'm thinking, I wouldn't have given a kid a phone that expensive. You'd have to have a pay-as-you-go, you know. Hi, Julie. You know, why would you give a kid a phone that expensive? You know, they drop them, don't they? They lose them. They leave them wherever they happen to be, you know. Stick them in their blazer pocket. Somebody's, you know what kids are like at school. They're bullies and everything. You know, somebody's got a fancy phone, they'll take it off them. And their parents are like, oh dear. No, give them a pay-as-you-go thing from Asda. They won't want to pinch that. I was like that with cars. I never had a top-of-the-range car. I never had a good car when I had a car. Because, people who had these fancy cars, they were either getting stolen or somebody would bash into them with a shopping trolley or open the car door on them and bang them and dent them. And so I used to think, well, nobody want mine. Although somebody did try to steal one of mine once, and it was a real banger. It wasn't worth a tuppence. I couldn't believe it. I heard this crackling noise and the dog barked. So I looked at the window and there were 3 youths in tracksuits, the kind of hoodies and stuff, messing with my car. So me, daft beggar, I opened the door, shouting, "Hey, what the hell do you think you're doing?" And they ran away. And my son's going mad. He said, "Mum, you shouldn't do that. They could have attacked you or something." I said, "I had the dog." Buster wouldn't have bitten him. He would have barked like hell and frightened him. He looped the part. But he was a bit of a wimp, yeah. Oh, they steal anything that's not screwed down, see, now, honest to God. Some people will do anything except work, won't they? You know what I mean? I don't mean people who can't work because they've got medical issues. I'm talking about loafers, you know what I mean? People who just don't want to work because they're bone idle. And they'll get more money out of stealing and thieving and whatever. And they're no respecters of people, aren't you? You're always reading in the paper where some poor old dear, it's 80 or 90, gets robbed and people break in their homes. And the shock of that alone will kill them. If it would be with me I'm not that age, but if I came across somebody like in my bedroom in the middle of the night, no, not that. But you know what I mean? If I came across a burglar in the middle of the night, stood in my bedroom, I'd have a heart attack, Oh, yeah, they steal anything. They honestly steal anything these days. And it's sad. I never knew I was poor when I was a kid. But when you think my parents lived through such hardship, and yet they would have never dreamt of stealing anything. It was back in the days where you left your back door open, you left your front door open. If you had anything, you shared it. People didn't go around robbing their neighbours. Everybody respected everybody else, but there's no respect these days. No respect. It's like, if you leave things around or something, more fool you, it's there for the taking. It's the mental attitude of some people that I don't understand. I would never take anything that wasn't mine. It's just isn't right, is it? You're not entitled to it just because you see something and somebody's dropped something or it's not yours. It belongs to the person who's just dropped it. You don't take it or whatever. I could never do that. No. I once was getting out of my car and a young lad was getting out of his car and he dropped something. So I went to pick it up and it was a roll of banknotes with a rubber band round it. So I saw the shop he went into and I went in and I just said, "Excuse me," I said, "I think you might have lost something." And he went, "What?" And I said, "Just check your pockets. I think you might have lost something." He went 7 shades of every colour and I went, "There you are." And he said, "Oh my Lord," he said, "it's the first time my boss has trusted me to cash up, lock up, and take the money." I thought, that poor boy, they would have thought he'd taken it, wouldn't they? They would have thought he'd stolen it. And he said, "Oh, I can't thank you enough, I can't thank you enough." And I said, "No," I said, "I don't have what's not mine." There must have been 300 or 400 quid all rolled up with elastic band. But it's amazing the number of people who said to me, "Oh, I would have put it in my pocket." And I said, no, I wouldn't do that. No. I couldn't live with myself if I did something like that. I just couldn't. If you see 5p on the middle of the road or you see a £1 coin and there's nobody around, that is different. That's like, oh, well, there's a £1. You wouldn't go around tapping somebody on the shoulder and say, "Excuse me, have you dropped 5p or have you dropped £1?" But if I saw somebody drop it, yeah, I mean, I once went right off a so-called friend of my ex-husband's. I saw a bloke drop a £10 note out of his pocket, and my husband's so-called friend put his foot over it. And then he waited about 5 minutes, and then he bent down and picked it up, put it in his pocket, and I'm like, I've just gone right off you. I told my ex-husband, and he said, well, I'm not going to say anything to him. I said, well, I'm not speaking to him again. I said, if that's what he does, yeah. I mean, he saw the guy drop it out of his pocket and he put his foot on it. And I'm like, I couldn't believe he did it. And he wasn't poor. He didn't need the money. He wasn't desperate. And I'm like, I couldn't believe he did that. And all night I kept giving him dirty looks, I bet he wondered why I kept giving him dirty looks all night. But I'm sure he knew why. I knew what he'd done. But I would never do that. No. And I'm not a goody two-shoes by any stretch of the imagination. It's just I was brought up with respect. Brought up that if it's not yours, it's not yours. Yeah. You don't take anything that's not yours. I mean, when we were kids, we used to swap and mess about with toys and stuff, but you always knew it wasn't your toy. You always would borrow it, but you would say, I'm borrowing this. And somebody would lend you their doll or their pram for a night, and you would take it home and you would say, but I've borrowed it. And does the mummy know you've borrowed it? Yes, the mummy knows I've borrowed it, but you took it back. You didn't keep it. Oh, it's a completely different world now. It's every man for himself, isn't it, these days? No. Well, what shall I do? Shall I do a bit of crocheting, or what shall I do? I'm not really in the mood. It's very rare I'm not in the mood for crocheting. Perhaps if I take it out, perhaps it might jog me. I'll have to take my thumbs out and my gloves. Perhaps it might inspire me if I take it out of a bag. I did a few rows actually when I was in the cafe the other day. They must think I'm weird sitting in the cafe doing a bit of crocheting. But I got given that. A lady at a knit club saw it and thought about I would like it. Very sparkly, isn't it? Yeah. I said, well, I don't know whether I would wear it. I said, but I'll definitely hang it up somewhere. Yeah. Oh, that's awful. I can't do that. I have to tell people. I mean, that big parcel of necklaces that I ordered never arrived. Anyway, they never arrived. I kept saying, well, we'll hang on a bit longer. To the lady. And she said, oh, I'll give you a refund. She says, obviously they're lost. And then they turned up. And apparently they'd got sent by accident to another lady who'd ordered some necklaces off her. And they'd all got in the same bundle. Anyway, this lady, honest lady, had got in touch with her and said, I think you've sent me more necklaces than what I'd actually ordered from you. So they turned up. But I got in touch with that lady and I said, I owe you money. I said, because, you gave me a refund and the necklaces have now turned up. And she very, very nicely said, oh, don't worry about it. It was our mistake. Don't worry about it. But I did tell her, yeah. Hi, Melly. Oh, we could be on Crime Watch, couldn't we? Those photo fits on Crime Watch. I mean, do they ever catch anybody with them? I mean, they're a bit better than they used to be. But when Crime Watch first came out, they'd do these black and white photo fits, wouldn't they? And they never looked like anybody real, did they? You used to think, oh my goodness me, if anybody really looks like that. Yeah. Now, there's a lot of people, Lydia, with the same attitude as that friend of yours that would keep it, but I wouldn't. I'd be just, I just couldn't. It's not that I'd be frightened of ending up on Crime Watch or anything like that, but I just couldn't live with myself. I couldn't, honestly. And like I said, I'm no goody two-shoes by any stretch of the imagination, but it's just, the way I've been brought up, thankfully. I'm on a different colour now. I've just started on the other pink. Well, browny pink. To me, it's like a dusty pink, but some people would see it as brown, I think. It's how you visualise things, isn't it? I mean, my friend said to me, have you sold that blue shawl? And I said, oh, the blue one I've just finished. And she said, no, the big blue one with the purple and the tassels. I said, that's not blue. I said, that's turquoise green. So we all see colours differently, don't we? Yeah, I would have said something. I would at least have got in touch with them and said the other one was turned up. Yeah. Especially if it was something that expensive. We all know things get lost in the post, but sometimes they do turn up again, don't they? But I mean, there's been a spate as well, like people who live in, blocks of flats when they have like mailboxes in the foyer and people just break in and take the Amazon packets and stuff that are left there. Oh, she scanned it, it didn't take. Well, it's better than it being the other way around. I once thought, blooming heck, that bill's a lot higher than I thought it was going to be. But it wasn't until I got home when I looked at it and she'd scanned an expensive thing through twice on my bill. Now, I did go back because I wasn't in a position, to pay for things twice. If it had been a bunch of bananas or something, I wouldn't have bothered, but, it was something expensive. I think she'd scanned it and she didn't think it had scanned, so she must have scanned it again. And it did go through twice. But you don't like making a fuss. There's a great big queue and you're thinking, blimey, that's a lot more than what I thought. And anyway, when I got home, I thought, I'm going to check this. So I took all my groceries out, and checked it and realised what she'd done. So I went back and I said, luckily they have video cameras. They could have checked it if they wanted. I said, look, I didn't buy 2 of these. I only bought 1. Anyway, they did believe me. They gave me my money back. So, the number of times I've gone home and you think, where's my butter? Where's it gone? And you must leave it. I don't know. You must accidentally leave it, when they shoot things down. The only time I've complained in a supermarket was there was a young girl on the till and she was turning her back away from me, talking to the woman on the other till. And she was throwing me stuff down this chute so fast. And she could see I'm in a scooter, so I had to, because at the time I had a smaller scooter that I used to be able to take in the very big store. So she could see I was in my scooter and I was trying my best to pack my bag and she was chucking everything down like that. And all my bread and my things were getting squashed because she was chucking tins down. And I kept saying to her, excuse me. And she's talking about a night out to a friend behind. Anyway, I went to customer service and I said, look, I'm furious. I said, I really am furious. And she said, why? I said, well, till number, whatever it was. I said, she's just yakking away to her friend. I said, and she's just squashed all my bread, squashed all my muffins. Anyway, she did take it all off me and go and get me some fresh. I said, that's not the point. I said, you should tell her to be a bit more, thoughtful when she's throwing things down. She was scanning them so fast. And she could see I had a big pile of stuff and there was a woman waiting behind to be served. And she's going, that'll be so much. And I thought, give me a chance. She'd have probably started throwing that other woman's shopping down after mine. Honestly. Some women. Mine, there's a guy in one of our local shops here, and I talk about a smile would crack his face. Anyway, he was on the till. Anyway, this other woman said, I'm opening up this till. I went, thank God for that. She said, why? I said, She said, oh, you're not the only one that says that about him. I said, a smile wouldn't hurt, you know. You know, when they're serving you, they don't speak. And you try to make a bit of small talk and they just, I thought, shouldn't be in customer service if you can't do that. Customer is everything, yeah. Customer service is everything, yeah. That's why I will never use self-checkouts. I won't use them on principle. You know, when somebody says to me, you can use the self-service checkout, I say, I don't work here. What? I don't work here. Why would I want to operate a till if I don't work here? I said, no, thank you. I'll wait for one of the girls. And they give you such a dirty look, don't they? Because they don't like queues building up. They want you to go and use this. I'm not using the self-service till, am I? Doing somebody out of a job? No. No. I don't know how you feel about them, but I don't like them. I refuse to use. And half the time, you put your bananas on or something, and it doesn't register. So you have to call somebody over saying, excuse me, it won't weigh these bananas, yeah. So what's the point? All to do with saving money. I was watching a programme about IKEA. Apparently it's called IKEA, not IKEA. About how they manage to sell everything as cheap as they do. You know, they have really, really cheap things to entice you in, and then you don't realise everything else is dearer, yeah. Yeah, you never get through the self-service any quicker, do you? It might be okay if you've done your full shop and then you realise you've forgotten your milk, you know. It might be all right just to pop in and just use that for just a, thing of milk, yeah. But I wouldn't put my whole shopping through there, would I? Good evening, Connie. Good evening. Well, I am doing a bit, see, I'm doing a bit. Didn't think I would because I'd gone right off it, yeah. Oh, you're going back to work, are you, Melly? Okay, well, we'll maybe see you later. If not, enjoy your day. Hey, oh. I'm already getting fed up with this grocery, and I've only done 2 rows. One of the ladies at Knit Club's doing a lovely one of these hexagon jackets. She's doing hers on a much tighter tension than me, and she's doing it in like a lilac and purple and white fleck. It looks lovely. But I did this on a bigger hook because with it being furry, I thought it might sort of weld itself together when it was washed. Maybe it won't. Maybe I'm just making it bigger. But yeah, but maybe. And I've burnt me yarn finger. Stupid. Got something out of the oven. Thought I had the oven gloves on and I burnt me end of my finger. And it's where I put the yarn. So it's like rubbing on the blister. Yeah, they probably, these big companies. It's like IKEA. This program was saying how they managed to sell things because they don't make things out of proper wood. I thought, well, I could tell you that. Things are made out of like pressed cardboard. And that's how they do it so cheap because they don't use good wood. I thought, well, I could have told you that. It's all right if you're on a real budget and you've got, I'm talking and I've got Billy bookcases all around me here, but I don't like them. I'd far rather have nice wood. But, hello, John, how are you today? What's the weather like in Ireland? I like watching travel programs. I'm watching Susan Calman at the moment with a camper van going around everywhere. And I've also been watching, what she calls Sue Perkins. She's been doing camper van, RV, or whatever you want to call them. In America, she's been all over the place in America. I've been watching her. She's only had a small van, like other people have got these converted school buses and stuff like that. Yeah, I wish I could say our weather was better, but it isn't, John. I'm making one of those hexagon jackets. You know, you make a hexagon and then you fold it. So that's your sleeve and this is your body. Yeah, that's what I'm making. You call them campfire cardigans, I think, or hexagon jackets. Yeah. Oh, this week we've had everything thrown at us. It's been awful. The sea's been coming over the top. We've had sea foam. It looks like washing up liquid coming over the. They call it sea foam. I never knew it existed till I moved here to Fleetwood, actually. And the waves were what they call overtopping. That means they come over and they come all over the promenade bit. The fishermen, couldn't believe all the fishermen that were out there. Hi, Patricia. Couldn't believe how many fishermen were out. And I said to one of them, I said, is this the weather that you catch? You know, oh yeah. Catch a lot of fish. And the waves were coming up like that. And these fishermen were there intrepid, you know, with all their wet gear and stuff. One of them was actually stood in the sea. I thought, oh, you fool, come out. Oh, and the surfboarders were out. Would you believe? And one woman said what's the surf like? He said, flipping cold. Well, they didn't say flipping, but I won't swear. But the surfboarders were out. And it was absolutely wild. I was scootering along with my friend and she said, are they mental or what? I can understand somebody wanting to surf, even down south when it's summer and warm. And definitely like in Australia and Bondi Beach and things, yeah. But why would they want to surf, you know, in Fleetwood when it's freezing and the waves are lashing all over the place? Why would you think it was a good idea? I thought, I hope the lifeguard, we have a very, very stupid building. It leans like that. And they made it lean. It's not like the Leaning Tower of Pisa that's falling over. They constructed it that leans. And all the visitors that come past say, why did they build it leaning? And nobody seems to be able to give me an answer. Anyway, the Coast Guard's on the top floor of this place. And they keep an eye out on everybody. So I hope they were watching these stupid surfboarders. You got 5 inches of snow. Yeah, I was watching Jill, you know, Fiberfloozy. She made a little short video because she was at her dad's. Because I miss her live because it's on at 1 o'clock in the morning for me. So I can't watch that. But I did watch a little short video she put out on where she's gone to her dad's. And I don't think it was snow, but it was very, very frosty out there. And I think somebody else said they had snow. I saw somebody else's video, I can't remember who, where they had snow, yeah. So we don't get snow here because we're so close to the sea. And apparently the salt in the sea keeps the snow away, yeah. Yeah, they're Coast Guards, actually, Chris. Yeah, they would be the people who would call out the, you know, the helicopter, land sea helicopter, or, you know, whatever, if anybody was in distress, yeah. Hello, RBV. Yeah, I'm doing okay. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. Trying to do a bit of crochet. Trying to avoid the blister on my finger. Because I stupidly burnt my finger, didn't I? I had the oven gloves, but somehow or another, I still managed to grab hold of the baking tray straight out of the... I sound sad. Oh, believe me, Robert, I am not sad. I was annoyed with myself for burning my finger. The new scooter is a pain in the backside. It's going to go back, I think, yeah. No, I'm not sad at all, Robert. Where do you get that impression? Dippy, weird, wacky, but sad? No. Definitely not sad. I'm not a sad person. I have been sad in times, but I'm kind of a bit like, was it Monty Python? Always look on the bright side of life, yeah. Bet that gives you an earworm, doesn't it, Chris? Always look on the bright side of life. Life is good, you're right there, Robert. It is. Life is good, I can't complain. Well, I could, but I won't. Nothing special. I would imagine that my daughter-in-law's family will come for Christmas, I would imagine. I no longer go to my sister-in-law because she now goes down to her daughter's in London. So our family sort of get together, just sort of disbanded about 3 years ago. She's actually moving to London, my sister-in-law, in the near future. So there definitely won't be any plans there for Christmas. My sister-in-law took over the family Christmas when my mum died. My mum was always the one who, did the family Christmas, even though it was too much for her. She would insist on doing it. And my sister-in-law took it over because she said, like, when my mum got elderly, it was too much for her. So thankfully, nobody asks me to cook. Because if you've ever tasted my cooking, you wouldn't bother. Although I did look after myself when the family were away the other week. I did. And I cooked. I didn't buy ready meals. I did cook for myself, yeah. So I think the special plans for Christmas we were going to do it last year, but 2 different parts of the family got COVID. So we were eating all this food up well into the new year because the family had bought enough food there should have been about 13 people, yeah. Instead of which there was 3 of us because everybody caught COVID. And the only one who didn't have COVID, he was still in the army, I think, at the time. He's not in the army anymore, but he was still in the army at the time. So I don't think he could have come anyway. So anyway, I don't know what the Christmas holiday plans are. I'm going out for afternoon tea and for a Christmas meal with 2 different knit clubs, yeah? Or is it the same knit club? The same knit club. We're going out for a Christmas meal. That's been planned for ages. And then we're going out for an afternoon tea before Christmas, yeah. And we're doing a Secret Santa. We try. I try to do my best to have fun, Robert, yeah. When you get to my age, you've got to make the most of every day, in case you're never here next week. But you know what I mean. Well, there's 10 of us, I think, or 12 of us going to the afternoon tea. But the Christmas meal is like the whole of everybody who uses the community centre. So there could be about 100 people going to that one. We kind of like take over this place. We have all the tables set out. It's everybody who uses the community centre. We use it just for the knitting group. So there's about 14 of us. But they use it for yoga, armchair yoga. They use it for bingo, afternoon tea, stuff like that. Have I made him start singing? I always look on the bright side. You have to make the most of what you've got, Robert. I'm a firm believer in that, It's no good wishing for things you can't attain because it makes you very miserable. So, when you think about it in general, yeah, not to bring the subject down, but we are better off than some people. We've got a roof over our heads, we've got food, and we've got managed to just about pay the bills, But, we are much better off than a lot of people. As you say, you should count your blessings and not your woes. Well, yeah, I've always been a bit like that, I've always thought to myself, there's people out there that living under cardboard. They've got nothing in their bellies. They've got no money. They've got nothing, no way of getting a work or anything because they can't get work because they live no fixed abode. They can't get benefits because they're no fixed abode. They're living in a tent somewhere. And, we ought to thank our lucky stars, really, that we have got places to live. And we may not have any money, but hey ho, we're not starving. There's always a piece of toast, isn't there, if you haven't got any money? There's always a bit of bread. I mean, thank goodness that we've got these community. I mean, I'm in a fortunate position. I've never had to use a food kitchen. But, there are such things, thankfully, where people can actually get some kind of food. Although last year I thought, we went somewhere and the fire alarm went off and we had to all get out. And I found out that where we were, and we're next door to the community kitchen, whatever you want to call it, the food. And there was a woman there and she was kicking off, well style, I don't want this, I don't want that. Why are you giving me this? Why are you giving me that? And it turns out that they were giving her like fruit, vegetables and stuff like that. So instead of being grateful, she's kicking off. Because obviously, she wanted pot noodles or something stupid. And I thought, at times in my life when I've been really, really, when my husband was on strike for 6 weeks, for example, my ex-husband, and we had no money coming in, I would have been so glad of somebody giving me potatoes and carrots and things. I would have made soup. I would have made something or other. I mean, we managed to get by living on nothing, if you know what I mean. But I would have been so grateful for potatoes and carrots and stuff. But she was kicking off because she obviously wanted junk food. Maybe that's what she normally lives on. That's probably why she was in the financial embarrassment that she was in. I'm so poor I can't afford to give the kids McDonald's. Huh? What? No. Being so poor means you can't afford beans on toast or egg on toast. That means you are poor. Yeah. Yeah, I love a big pan of vegetable soup where you chuck everything in but the kitchen sink, Whatever you've got left over, you stick it in the pan, don't you, if you're a bit hard up, yeah? You look what's at the bottom of the fridge, don't you? See all the vegetables that may be a little bit past it, but, put them in the pot, yeah. No, some people are very ungrateful, Connie. That woman was kicking off and she was losing the choicest of language. And I thought, you are really showing yourself up there. Instead of saying thank you very much and taking whatever they were offering her, she said, I don't eat this book, I don't eat this. Well, she had a few other adjectives in that, which I'm not going to say on here. I don't want to get banned for using foul language. So you can imagine, can't you? I'll leave it to your imagination what she was actually saying, yeah. And I remember thinking, and she was bawling at the top of her voice. And we were all stood outside, because the fire brigade had to be called. It was a false alarm, but the fire brigade had to be called. And I'm thinking, oh my God, why am I standing here listening to her, So ungrateful. Yeah, exactly. If you are struggling, you can get a load of potato. I used to make leek and potato soup because leeks were quite cheap. Potatoes were dirt cheap at the time. Everything's gone up now. I'm talking a few years back. You could get a big bag of spuds, couldn't you, for next to nothing? And you could buy a big sack of potatoes for next to nothing. And then you get either a cabbage or leeks or something, stick everything in, and make a big pan. People say, my kids wouldn't eat that. And I'm like, well, that's your fault, isn't it? If you brought your kids up that they won't eat it, that's your fault. I'm sorry, but it's not. Hi, Tommy. You fell asleep. Oh, bless. Yeah. I can't be coping with fatty eaters. I'm sorry, I can't. Allergies are a different thing. People are allergic to peanuts and stuff like that. But I can't be coping when Mums are cooking 4 different meals for the kids because, oh, so and so doesn't like vegetables and so doesn't like this, or they don't want anything with onions. And I'm like, table, don't like it, don't eat it, but you get nothing else. Yeah, end of story. Cures fatty eaters. Tell you, it cures them. You know, if you said you didn't want anything in our house, it just got took away. I don't like that. Well, you said you didn't like it on everybody else's plate. Gone. But can I have something else? No. Can I have any supper? No. Why not? Because you didn't eat your dinner. Yeah. Yeah, my mum was the same. If you don't want it, you can't be hungry. You know. It teaches you not to be fatty, I'll tell you. It teaches you to eat what you've got on your plate and be grateful. But kids today, they're too. What would you like for your dinner, dear? Do you want fish fingers? Do you want a burger? Do you want to go to McDonald's, dear? No, they don't. Give them what you've got and don't mess about. I'm a firm believer in that. Yeah, eat it or go without, yeah. That's what we had to do. There was no faddying about. Food was money was tight. Food was what you got, yeah. If your mum made stew or your mum made things, you ate it. You didn't complain. Same with school dinners. They weren't nice half the time, but you ate them because you were hungry. So you ate them. You know, there was no, oh, I'll go to the shop, I'll go and get some chips or I'll go and get a pizza. There were no fast food places. A chip shop was as close as we got to a fast food place. So you couldn't nip out. Anyway, I wouldn't have had any money. I got money for my dinner tickets, yeah, but no money. My mum didn't give me money to go and get sweets or anything. You never had money to go to the tuck shop or anything like that. I never had any money. Some other people did. We used to have a tuck shop at the schools I went to. But I never had any money. And to be honest with you, I never bothered because none of my friends had any money either. It wasn't like I was like poor little orphan Annie. I was left the odd one out. I wasn't. You know, lots of, it was a girls' school I was at. Lots of girls were in the same position as me. They didn't have anything. Yeah. Hi, Isaac. How you doing? Oh, yeah. I mean, there was only 2 of us. It was my mum, dad, and my brother and me. But even so, my brother was at university when I was growing up because he was much older than me. And so my mum had to find him bus fares and stuff like that. And my dad was a butcher and he didn't have much money. This is way before we had the wool shops. So you just had, yeah. Oh, I know. You see people who think they're deprived when they can't afford to get McDonald's or they can't afford, yeah. Hello, visit. Oh, I was going to say Mama, but it's me, Mac, isn't it? Hello there. No, if you can't afford the fast food and they can't afford anything, then they think they're hard done by, don't they, these days? I think kids grow up being entitled, what I call entitled. They think it's their right. Whereas we thought it was a treat. If we had any fast food like chips from the chip shop, that was a treat. We were never entitled to anything. But people sort of, they make a rod for their own back, yeah. The same at Christmas when people go into so much debt to buy all these massive gifts and things for their kids. And I'm like, why? Why do it? I used to treat myself to fish and chips. We had a gorgeous fish and chip shop where I used to live. People say, oh, you live in Fleetwood now. You should get loads of fish. No. I used to have a fantastic fish and chip shop. Now, that was my treat of the week. I used to go and get fish and peas. I never got fish and chips, fish and peas. And it did cost me about £6 or something like that. But that was my treat of the week, yeah. Oh no, you you never picked and choose, did you, Lydia? You never said, "Oh, can we have such a thing?" I might have said sometimes, like, "Are you going to buy some apples or something?" Or, "Can we have oranges this week?" But it was always a "can we," not, if Mum was doing shopping, I'd say, like, "Can we have apples this week?" Or, "Can we have oranges?" Or, sometimes there'd be bananas, but you never had an overflowing fruit bowl. It was one thing or the other, And occasionally, very, very occasionally, I used to love cherries. Because being a little girl, I used to put them, a pair, and say I was wearing earrings. Walking around with my cherry earrings. Oh, you want fish and chips? The fish and chips around here are not. We've got a fish and chip shop locally that everybody goes, "Oh, it's fantastic, it's wonderful." But it isn't as patch on, where I was. In fact, he's one of the top chip shops in the whole of the UK, where I come from. So I really miss my chips. I mean, we're here. My son says, "Should we have fish and chips?" I'm like, "Can I have a pudding?" They haven't got the hang of the batter around here. They don't do the batter like he used to do the batter. If you ever go to Prestwich, chips at number 8, a place to be, yeah. I was never actually made to finish my meals, but if I didn't finish my meals, that was it. I didn't get any, if we were having any pudding, which was usually homemade cake. I wouldn't get that. It was like, "Oh, if you haven't eaten dinner, you can't be hungry." So, we used to get those big stone flagons, with dandelion and burdock and cream soda now and again. And it was now and again. I honestly think my mum used to buy a couple when it was winter, just so we could use them as hot water bottles. You'd get like one lot of dandelion and burdock that you had to measure out. You got a little glass like that. But I swear she only ordered it so she could get the bottles for the hot water. And when you used to kick them out of bed, you used to nearly cause an earthquake on the street, didn't it? Boom. They were so heavy. I don't know who thought of having those as hot water bottles, because they were quite big, weren't they, and round. About that big. About that big and round, yeah. With the cork and the top. I mean, they did stay warm for quite a while. But when they went cold, you daren't kick them out of bed. Like I said, it would have caused an earthquake on the street if you kicked it out of bed. I used to push mine right to the bottom of the bed with my feet so I didn't feel it anymore when it went cold. Because you didn't want to get out of bed. Pull it out because the bedroom was freezing cold because we had no central heating. So you didn't want to get out of bed, did you? To put it at the side, yeah. You were there with your pyjamas on and one of your old cardigans because it was that flipping cold, I don't remember having a dressing gown. I think that was one luxury I never had, a dressing gown. You had to put your cardigan on over the top of your pyjamas. An old cardigan that had gone a bit fluffy. Or one of your mum's old cardies, I can remember one time when it was really, really cold, putting my coat on, getting in bed with my coat on. And there was ice on the windows because it was all single glazing back then. It wasn't double glazing like it is now. No heating, no nothing. Single glazing, frost on the window. and you're there in bed going, blah, 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 blah. So I used to get out of bed and put my coat on. I did used to like the eider downs, if you remember eider downs, way before duvets. Nobody had a duvet back then. Oh yeah, long johns. I think my dad wore long johns, but they weren't thermal. I think they were cotton. My dad worked in a butcher's shop, which had to be cold because it was meat. So he used to wear his long johns underneath his trousers. Well, here, I've got the fire, but when I go in my bedroom, the only thing I miss when I go in my bedroom is because the heating's not been on. The bath towel that I brought out of the bathroom is still damp. So, to have a shower tomorrow, it's damp. You know. Oh, my dad used to warm pennies with his hand, put them on the window to make little spy holes for me to look out of. Oh, he always wears socks in bed. No, I don't now, but I mean, he always wears socks in bed. And you always had Winceyette pyjamas, didn't you? Never anything posh. I don't think they did posh pyjamas back in my day. I think they only did stripy Winceyette. I used to like boys' pyjamas because they were warmer. You know, they buttoned up the front, didn't they? And pyjamas, Winceyette. That's like a fleece kind of pyjama. But I used to wear boys' ones because they were warmer. Little girls' ones were prettier, yeah. Oh, I never had footy pyjamas, no. Never had any with feet in, no. Socks on, yeah. I never got as far as wearing a hat, although I was talking to one of my friends and she said when her husband was younger, they used to wear hats in bed to keep the head warm. I don't think I ever wore a hat in bed. Yeah, we used to have fun though, didn't we, with the frosty windows. I used to love the patterns. They were like ferns, weren't they? They were so pretty, weren't they? I don't know why ice always freezes like ferns, but it does, doesn't it? You know, they were so pretty to look at. And when you're little and you're examining a snowflake, every one of them is individual, and if you look at it, you know the pretty patterns that they make with a snowflake, yeah. It sounds like I had a sad, deprived childhood, and I didn't. I was a very happy child. Very happy. It's amazing what you can do when you're a child and it doesn't cost money. And kids have lost their neck of that, haven't they? You know, floating floating sticks down the river and stuff, and having a game to see whose stick got there fast, you know. You can call it poo sticks, don't they? Winning the poo sticks. You know, all the things we used to do that, you know. My bedroom's always cold here now. Used to play poo sticks, yeah. We used to swing on lampposts because I'm so old, it was gas lamps. And it was like the old-fashioned lamp, like you see him singing in the rain, you know, with a bit with the side. I don't know what that arm thing was for. I was sort of side down. We used to throw a rope over that and swing on this lamppost. I don't know what that arm was for. Maybe it was to put the ladder against, you know, when they went up to light the gas. Because they were gas lamps. I'm so old, they were gas lamps. A man used to come round with a long pole thing and light them at night. I did live in a little village, though. They were a bit behind the times. Yeah, there were 5 in the bed, and the little one said, roll over, roll over. So they all rolled over, and Mum fell out. That reminds me of coming back we used to call them a charabang, a coach, when you'd been on a day trip to somewhere like Blackpool or Fleetwood or wherever you'd been. And all the old dears would start a sing-song, wouldn't they, all the way home. I bet that poor driver used to be fed up. Every night he had to listen to the same people, or different people singing the same song. You know, she'd be coming around the mountain when she comes and stuff like that. They don't do it now, do they? They miss all this excitement, don't they? And they'd always stop somewhere on the way home. It either did fish and chips, or it did, the men would go in for a pint, wouldn't they? Oh yeah, 99 bottles of beer on the wall. And coming round the mountains, yeah. Oh, the good old songs. You don't hear them anymore. I wonder why. Those poor coach drivers. I had to listen to all these. Well, I won't say they were drunk, because nobody could afford to get drunk in those days, but they would have had a drink. You know, they would have had a pint, wouldn't they? Or maybe 2 if they were lucky. Because the coach didn't stop that long, you know. Maybe long enough to get a pint. And if you were lucky, if you were a kid, you got a little drink, or you got a bag of crisps or something if you were lucky. But most of the time, us kids would fall asleep because it'd be 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, you know, we're well past bedtime. We'd all be. You drove a school bus. I'm sure they didn't sing like we used to sing. Hey dear, those were the good old days, though. You used to take your soggy sandwiches with you and go out for the day. Couldn't you? Mum and Dad couldn't afford to go in a cafe. You'd have a bottle of pop if you were lucky. And your mum always took a flask of tea. She always had a flask of tea, didn't she? You'd be there eating your sandwiches with sand in them, wouldn't you? You'd be on the sand, wouldn't you, no matter how cold it were. And your mother would be there with her tea. She'd be sitting on her deck chair with her coat on. And we used to be digging in the sand. Go and paddle in the sea. It'd be icy cold. It'd be like ice, wouldn't it? Go and paddle in the sea. No, it's cold. Oh. You were supposed to strip off to your swimsuit while she was still sitting in her coat and hat, yeah. Well, they always put their hats on, didn't they, Mummy? Those tulle creations. Bit like Sissy and Ada, you know, like Les Dawson. I had a neighbour used to wear a hat in the house. She never took her hat off. She was like a formal hat. She'd have a pinny on and everything, and she'd have the hat on. If you went to the door, she'd come to the door with a hat. Nicely. She was a bed in a hat. She'd take it off at the end of the night. My mother wasn't that bad. She never wore a hat in the house. When they used to go to church on a Sunday, oh my goodness me. Those frothy creations that they used to stick on their heads, yeah. Oh, I don't blame them. I wouldn't like to be a bus driver with their kids today. Oh my goodness me. You'd have to have a door around you, wouldn't you, that they could lock? What am I eating? I'm eating hula hoops. Hula hoops. Little hula hoops. They shrunk though. They used to be able to fit them on your finger. I can remember fitting them on every finger and eating them off my fingers. Now it'll barely go on the little finger. Yeah, lock the bus doors and take them straight to the might the police would do nothing these days. Or you'd be lucky if you found a police station that was open. Did you miss anything? We're talking about the good old days, coach driving, frost on the windows, and eating what was put in front of you. That's what we're talking about tonight, Jane. They're quite crunchy. I've had they took that crown out on that side, so I can't eat on that side. So that's what you missed, Jane. I think your shower curtain would scare me a bit, Jane, if I was sat on the toilet. All those men looking at me. Oh, we had to make them slippy. We used to take grease-proof bread wrappers to the playground to grease the slide. Yeah. To make it go faster. You never do that. Had to be well, all bread was in greaseproof papers, weren't it? Bread didn't come in, I don't like them plastic bags they put bread in. The bread goes mouldy really quickly. I got some bread on Saturday. By Tuesday, I had to put it in the bin. It was mouldy. Bread might have got a bit curly in greaseproof paper, but it never went mouldy. I mean, with all the preservatives and things that they stick in things these days, you wouldn't think you better go mouldy, would you? But they do. It does. I miss proper bakery bread. They don't seem to have it round here. They have pseudo bakery bread. You know, like if you go to Aldi. But, oh, no shouting, Patricia. Take your caps off, love. Proper little bakers, family bakers. Although there is one actually in Fleetwood. But I haven't noticed if they do bread. I must look because I do love a bread you can cut with a knife, Not the pre whatever cut. I love bread you can cut with a knife. Has a proper crust on it, yeah? I don't think we know what we're eating, to be quite frank, in the UK. Everything's got preservatives and stuff in it these days. You got some more men hanging up in your hall. Oh, bake me. Oh, no. Me and bread, no. I've had a couple of goes at it, and it tends to be like you could use it as a doorstop. Baking is not my speciality. I can make cakes, make a nice cake, but bread, no. Never got the hang of bread. Now, Kelly, that used to, well, I used to, sounds daft, I used to be a friend. I'm still a friend, I just don't see her. Kelly makes all her own bread, yeah? Oh, but she's got one of them. Oh, excuse me, bending over. She's got one of those bread makers. And I've never really felt the urge to go out and buy a bread maker, yeah. I used to make cake, but I don't even know if we've got a mixer anymore. And we definitely don't have any cake tins. You know, so maybe one day I'll go mad and I'll get a cake tin and I'll make a cake. I used to make cake all the time, but I'm diabetic, so I shouldn't really have anything like that. I'm diabetic and I'm just going to get the chocolate out. But it's once a week. It's my treat. It's my treat. Having said that, I've just got a letter saying I need to book my HM1C or something. What we're drinking tonight, dandelion and burdock. That takes back memories, doesn't it? If you're in the UK, dandelion and burdock, as Arian calls it. I said, why do you call it that? He says, because it makes you burp. So it's dandelion and burdock. Oh, my bottle. I bought it for my mum many years ago when I was on holiday. It's a fish. And when my mum passed away, I rescued it from her house. So it's one of the only things that made it out of my kitchen into my daughter-in-law's kitchen. It's one of the few things that did. I don't know where I bought it. It was somewhere like St. Ives or somewhere. You know, kitschy, whatever you want to call it. I don't mean kitcheny. I mean, they call it kitsch, yeah? One of those twee places that's got like novelty kitchen items, yeah? Oh gosh, yeah, you used to save them, didn't you? You used to get a penny or something back on the bottle, didn't you? I can remember that. My mum used to save them, and then when she was really, really broke, she'd take the bottles back, you know, so she could get potatoes or something or other when she was really, really broke. I've only got to go past a bread shop near. As I said before. Oh, I've had that one. Must be 20 years old, that fish. Oh, look, gooey caramel. Oh, that looks lovely. It's Cadbury's Dairy Milk Caramel. Or if you're in America, caramel. It's got an A in it, people. It's caramel. I don't know why it's caramel in America. Oh, it's very gooey. I used to keep my chocolate in the fridge. Can't do it here. Even though they say they don't eat chocolate, there wouldn't be anything left in the fridge. Oh, you can't beat a bit of Cadbury's. Not that I've tasted much American chocolate, but what I did taste, I wasn't impressed. No, some chocolate isn't nice. Everybody raves about this. Is it called greens or something? This dark chocolate that's supposed to be really good for you and stuff like that. Oh, God, I don't like it. I don't know what we've got in our version. Little writing. I haven't got glasses on. The list of ingredients is that long. So it's probably a load of junk. And it's written in such tiny, tiny writing. I would have to get my magnifying glass out. Somebody sent me a Hershey's Kiss, was it called? It looked like a nipple, actually. 1 year. Sent it me for Valentine's Day from America, and I just didn't like it. I don't like Oreo. They taste like cocoa powder or something, Oreo. Hello there. Hello. Rosie's come to claim the sofa. She likes my sofa. You can't see her, I don't think, not even if I move the camera. I don't think that you can see her because of the chair. She's on the sofa. Oh, yeah. Maybe you can see her a bit. I don't know. She's there. Oh, yeah, you can see her moving. She's there on my sofa. She's come to join me. She's a good girl. These candies are good, no? And all this fuss about them peanut butter, Reese's peanut butter. I don't like peanut butter. And everybody raves about peanut butter candies, don't they? I don't think C's candies made it over there. It's nice when you go to these like oldie worldy type village places where they've got proper, we call them sweets, not candy, but they have proper sweets, old-fashioned sweets. There's one in, what's it called now? Infinity. And it sells all the old-fashioned sweets in the jars, yeah. I don't like peanuts, no. We're making you want a snack. I'm very sorry if I'm making you want a snack, but I do like my chocolate on a Saturday night. It's my treat of the week. I won't eat the whole bar, by the way. I'm not that naughty. As soon as I've got my diabetes, check. It's always bad. My levels are always. But I keep saying to him, I'm in my 70s. How long do you expect me to live? Oh, so I don't like. Oh, no. I'm a weirdo. I don't like any kind of nuts at all. I keep freezing up and I'm doing it. One of our dogs used to love peanut butter, but you've got to be very careful. Can't give some dogs some peanut butters because they've got something in them. I don't know what it is. You have to get a special kind of whole food, whole whatever, because you can poison them if you give them ordinary peanut butter. I'm trying to keep my weight off, Jane. I am not losing any, but I'm not gaining any. Oh my goodness, we've got our share of fat kids over here. And there's some really fat young women when I go to Cleveland. In the 20s, really fat. It upsets me because I think, what are they going to be like when they get to my age? They're shortening their life. Yes, I know I've put on weight. I know I'm heavy, but I never was when I was their age. I've put on weight as I've got older, like a lot of people do. But it upsets me when I see them and they're in their 20s and they've got little kiddies. And I'm thinking, if you don't lose weight, you're not going to see them kids grow up. You're going to get diabetes, you're going to get heart trouble, you're going to get whatever. You're eating an ice cream sandwich called a fat boy. I'm surprised they let them call fat boy and not obese boy. You're not allowed to say certain words. They're supposed to be PC. It's a lot of rubbish, isn't it? I said to my GP one time, I said, yeah, I know I'm fat. And he went, oh no. He said, I can't say fat. You know, it tickles me when these women, they're on like my 600-pound life and they call themselves fluffy. And I'm like, fluffy? Who are you kidding? Can I borrow your mirror? You're not fluffy, girl. You're fat. You know? And you see them eating like 2 massive pizzas or something, and then they wonder why they've got the 600 pounds. You know, that program annoys me though. You know, he says he will give them the operation. He says you've got to use so much weight, and I will do the operation for you. And they don't do it, do they? They go home and order a load of food in. And I'm like, are you stupid? You're just being offered an operation that would cost you thousands of dollars, and you won't do as you're told. Yeah? They can't want to lose weight, that's all I can say. They cannot. Ice cream, we all scream for ice cream. Tell you what I was trying to remember. Oh, I haven't had pizza. I think it's about 6 months or more since I've had a pizza. Well, I was trying to remember the other day. When we were kids and you used to do the skipping songs, or you used to do the songs that you played when you played with the balls, you know, throwing them. You'd have 2 balls, 3 balls, throwing them against the wall, catching them. And we used to have all the, you know, the little rhymes and sort of little singing, you know, kind of skipping rope songs, yeah. I think it would be such a shame if they just disappear. You know, they're not nursery rhymes, are they? I don't know what they are, what you would call them. But they are like colloquial because they come different areas have got different little songs, haven't they? And we used to always sing when we were skipping. You know, if you were doing it in a group, you'd have a big rope and he was skipping and he'd go, I call him my very best friend, very best friend, very best friend. Yeah. And you'd call somebody in. Then we used to play The Farmer Wants a Wife. We used to pat people on the back. And then it get to The Dog Wants a Bone, and the poor dog, whoever was the dog used to get battered nearly. I can't remember most of them. I remember after the war, we used to sing a song that we thought was very naughty. That Mademoiselle from Armentier, Armentier, Armentier. And we're going to hang all our washing on the Siegfried line. Never knew what the Siegfried line was. I thought it was a washing line. It's only in later years I found out what it actually was. When I was a kid, I visualised this as a washing line that Siegfried had hung out, or whatever he was called. And then there was Charlie Chaplin went to France to teach the ladies how to dance. That was one of our skipping. It was a skipping song or a ball song that I don't remember. I bet if we looked on YouTube, I bet they'd be there. Because I can't think that they've all disappeared away from memory altogether. Or if you Googled it, I bet they would. I bet they would come up, yeah. I think they should be kept sort of alive for posterity at least. I know the children don't sing them anymore or use them anymore, but folklore, folk songs and things like that, I think they should be kept alive, shouldn't they? They all belong to whatever. And I don't know whether you have Morris dancers in America. The men that dress up and dance and clogs on, them stick things that they wave. I don't think they do. You get people in the gym, don't you, with them fancy ropes, just doing it like boxers do. I don't think kids have a long piece of washing. I mean, you used to pinch your mother's washing line, didn't you? She'd play out with you because you'd get it all dirty because you'd be skipping with it in the dirt. And then your mother had to wash it then before she could put the washing out, yeah. Oh, yeah. That Ico and air thing, yeah. Will you do that? The thing is, you see, we didn't have the toys that they do today, so we had to make our own amusements. If you went out, you'd maybe have pinch your mother's washing line and skip. Or somebody would have a ball and you could play a game, yeah. But, yeah, what was it? My best friend said you told your best friend. So that's sitting by the fire. Well, it's called Ico and Air, so isn't it? Yeah, that's all I can remember. Yeah, we used to play ball against this side of this pub, and eventually somebody would come outside because we'd be upsetting all the people. And we're in the pub because all they could hear was bump, 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 bump. But it was the only place that had this big, long, flat wall. I mean, she was very patient, the landlady. She used to let us do it when, it wasn't opening. In those days, we had opening hours. You only open a certain time and then it would shut for a certain length of time. So she didn't mind us playing ball when the pub was shut, if you know what I mean. Oh, God, tell me about it. They're like that. The number of times they walk into me, I'm on my scooter, and then they give me a dirty look, and I'm like, trying to bid me off. Because they're just walking along like that. And the whole world is there. They don't look up, they don't look down, they don't see anything around them. They're just zoned in. Well, that's why we were never fat, Jane. We were all skinny little kids. I had one kid in my class at school that was a bit on the plump side. Nothing like the major obese. She was plump. But her mum and dad had a grocery shop. And I suppose that she had more food than what we were used to. Because things were on a ration when I was a kid. So I often wonder, is she too fat? Or did she manage to slim it down? Yeah. She's on Facebook, but you can't say to her, oh, you're the fat kid that was in our class, can I? Oh. Yeah, I used to go into her mum and dad's shop. You walked in and all you could smell was like paraffin. And you're going in buying boiled ham or bacon or something, and they would cut it on the bacon slicer. It wasn't in packages or anything like that, like it is. All supermarkets used to have a bacon slicer or a cooked meat slicer where they used to slice it for you because you could ask for it done thin or whatever, or thicker or whatever. If you were buying corned beef, for example, you could ask for it cut thicker because I'm making hash, and they would cut it about 1/4 of an inch thick like that, yeah. All gone now. It's all health and hygiene. It's all, oh, it will be dirty. Oh, it's germs. I mean, I often think you don't know what the people are who are packing it. They could be more germ-ridden than ever anybody was working on them bacon slices. We used to love that. The bacon used to be in a great big long roll like that. I used to go on a bacon machine and you could slice it, yeah. You can't chat, Lulu. Yeah, okay. We don't mind if you listen. We're going down memory lane as usual. We're talking about things we used to do when we was kids, yeah. Oh, God. They do it a lot, don't they now, Patricia? What do you want for your dinner, love? Yeah, they all have different. Yeah. Yeah, if I had a big family, I might make a couple of choices, so they could choose something or the other, but I wouldn't. I mean, I only had one kid. That's the only. I only had one. That's all I ever got was one. Didn't want one. I wanted more, but I only got one. So I never had that problem. He just got what he got given, and that was the end of the story. So I didn't have one kid saying they don't like this and another kid saying they don't like that. I didn't have any of that, yeah. We go on all kinds of subjects on this channel, Lulu. All kinds of subjects. We go from what kind of music we like. We go from childhood recipes and things like that. We go all kinds of things, yeah. Oh, God, we used to rinse them under the tap, so what's litty? You never got it. Drop a sweet. If you drop your apple, you rinsed it under the cold tap, didn't you? Your mother give it back to you. Yeah. Oh, God, yeah. That's probably why we were healthy. We were immune to all these germs, weren't we? Oh, my goodness. The chicken nuggets. What the heck's in them chicken nuggets? There's hardly any chicken, that's for sure. And I'm one of these weirdos who hates macaroni cheese. It's like the food of the devil, that to me. I don't understand the joy and the delight of macaroni cheese. I really don't. I'd rather eat macaroni in a pudding. That's old, isn't it? That's really old, that. Milk pudding with macaroni, yeah. Yeah, I would have done the same thing, Patricia. If you don't like what I'm making, go live with them. I used to say that to my son. He used to say, I don't want to go to bed. Such a body's mother says they don't go to bed till 10 o'clock. I used to say, well, go live with such a body's mother then. If you're living in here, you go to bed when I say. They try it on kids, don't they? Yeah. Oh, vegan food. Vegan food. No, I'm not. Yeah. Macaroni pudding. I love it. Milk pudding is macaroni. I like semolina. I like all the things that people go yuck about. I like tapioca that people call frog spawn. I love anything like that. I basically love what they used to call nursery food, the stuff that they used to give to kids. I love all that sort of stuff. I don't like all this, like I said, vegetarian. I will eat vegetarian sometimes, but I don't like vegan stuff. I'm sorry, but plant-based just doesn't roll me, whatever, float my boat, isn't it? Yeah. No. I will eat vegetarian now and again because I like vegetables and I like things like that. But I could never be a vegetarian. I don't eat tremendous amount of meat, but I couldn't give it up, if you know what I mean. And I could never give up bacon. Oh, my goodness me, I could never give up a bacon butter. And have you ever tried that fake bacon stuff that they say, oh, it tastes like, it does not taste like anything. Well, I don't understand. If you're a vegetarian, why do you have to have vegetarian sausages, vegetarian bacon? Why? If you're a vegetarian, you're a vegetarian. Go and eat lettuce. You know. I love old-fashioned food. Well, they used to, yes, it's comfort food, isn't it? The stews and the tater ashes and the stuff like that. No, I couldn't. I can do without meat, but I do like my fish and I do like chicken. I love my white fish. I really do like fish. I'm not so keen on the oily fish, the sort of kippers stuff and stuff like that. I'm not keen on that. The smoky fish and stuff. But more or less, I'll eat any kind of seafood, yeah. You know, I don't like lobsters, but that's only because I can never get in them. You know, the meat might be lovely, but it's such hard work, isn't it, getting in a lobster or a crab? You know, I love rice pudding. It's comfort food, isn't it? Stews, rice pudding, stuff like that. You can't beat a nice rice pudding, especially if it's got a skin on it or whatever. Your mum's made it and she's put it in the oven and it's got a crust on it. I love it. Yeah, bit of nutmeg. Yeah, can't beat it. I must have been the only person who liked school dinners, really. I like most school dinners, except when we had liver or finny haddock. Yeah, finny haddock was like a smoked yellow fish. I didn't like that. Yeah, no, didn't like it at all. Bleh. But I do love fish. Yeah, yeah, no. Oh, syrup sponge pudding and custard. Oh, that's gorgeous. That's like school fare, isn't it? Sponge pudding. And we have a, if you're in the US, you may not know what a spotted dick is. It's nothing rude. It's a pudding that's got the raisins or currants in or something like that. Hi, Jeannie. Hi. Hello, Rick. Well, we don't have any snow. We don't have any snow, Rick. So that's a good thing. People in the US have got snow. Well, some people have. Other people are probably baking in hot temperatures. Other people have got snow because it's such a big, vast country. But we don't have any snow here, as far as I know. There's no snow. What you heard about Birmingham? What have you heard about Birmingham? Have I missed something? Have I missed that we've got snow or something? Oh yeah, I love sponge pudding. Oh, it's warmer than usual. It has its moments. It's either throwing it down and it's really horrible, leathering it down, or it's quite warm. It's supposed to be quite warm for November, but I'm near the coast, I'm near the sea, so I get the cold breeze coming off the sea. I get that, yeah. Fisher's make a nice rice pudding. I think I had that. It's usually ambrosia, or if you go in Tesco, Tesco's all. If you go in Asda, Asda's all. Yeah, I believe some places have had snow actually in the US, haven't you? It's been cold on certain days here, but not freezing. But it's been cold. We get a lot of wind off the sea, and that wind is chilly. Believe me, it's chilly. My dad used to call it a lazy wind. In other words, it doesn't go round you, it goes right through you. I love bread pudding. I do. I honestly love, what's it called? Well, it's got the currants and the whatnot in it. It's not called bread pudding, is it? What's it called? Is it called bread pudding? Bread and butter pudding, did they call it? Yeah. Americans can't make, I don't know whether they make any. Hi, Jill. Hi there. Jill didn't have snow. I just saw frosty bits, but it wasn't any snow. I don't think. Somebody posted they'd had 5 inches of snow. Was it somebody on here? Did. Bread and butter pudding. It's, ooh, love it, love it, love it. It is a dessert, yeah. I love it though. You're driving back from the grocery store. Have you bought anything nice? We're talking about food and desserts and bread and butter pudding and stews and, you know, like winter warmer foods we're talking about. We always get into some subjects on here, don't we? About, I love comfort food, but I can't eat a lot of it because A, I'm trying to watch me weight. And B, being a diabetic, I have to watch anything that's got a load of sugar in it, yeah. Lots of yummy things. You were complaining about your dad having lots of yummy things, so don't you be starting, Jill. Go and eat his. Yeah, I'm terrible if I go. I don't do the food shopping here anymore. My family do that, but if you let me loose in the food store, I spend an absolute fortune on stuff that I shouldn't be having. Yeah. Oh, it's Thanksgiving. Oh my goodness me. You see, we don't. Oh, he's getting him jelly and I love jelly. I've got some jelly in the fridge. I must make it up. You know, the kind you mix with boiling water and stir it up and then it sets. I've got some jelly in there. It's a thought. I used to love making jelly, but putting fruit in the bottom. You know, if you get an orange jelly and you put mandarins in the bottom. Oh, I love trifle and stuff like that. Yeah. You were in a massive potluck. What did you get with your potluck? What did you eat? Or you just eat a bit of everything? I'm never quite sure what potluck means. Does it mean so everybody brings a dish? What happens if everybody brings spaghetti or macaroni cheese? How do you work it so people bring different things? You know, you sort of send a memo around. No, we don't do Thanksgiving here. We don't. We probably waved goodbye to the Mayflower, but we didn't, have a party. Oh, I don't like mac and cheese. I really do. Sorry about that. You're driving now. Okay, Jill. If you want to listen, that's fine, yeah. You're making 3 turkeys. Oh, that's... No, even we don't make 3 turkeys. But we don't even make a turkey, actually. We might make a turkey crown or a turkey breast, but... Yeah, but what happens if everybody turns up bringing macaroni cheese? I wouldn't have anything to eat then, would I? Because I don't like mac and cheese. I cannot understand this about macaroni cheese. I don't know whether we have them, actually, over in England. I don't remember ever having anything like that. I know if you have a party or some kind of a gathering, of family and friends, people might say, oh, I'll bring sausage rolls or I'll bring whatever, yeah. I've not had me COVID. I've had me flu jab in one arm, no side effects whatsoever, yeah. A potluck is usually limited to side dishes, yeah. 3 turkeys? My goodness me. Who's going to eat 3 turkeys? You must have a big family. The only side effect I've got from my flu jab is, I don't know whether it's a coincidence, I've got my cough back. But I refuse to have me COVID. It would have been my 4th one, so I thought, no, I'm not having that again. Oh, community church. Yeah, I can understand it if it's a church and you're feeding the 5,000, I don't think we do that. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm not a strong church goer, so I don't really know what goes on, But I know we have, places that feed the homeless. We have these kind of shelter type places where, people make all kinds of things out of usually food that's been donated, yeah. All right, Isaac, we'll see you later. Bye now. Where people, like a community kitchen, I suppose, where people are homeless or people are on a very limited income and don't have anything to eat, so they can go to these community kitchens. And yeah, I probably do have a postnatal drip because I've got no... I hate going on about medical things. It's very boring. But I've had all my mouth lasered. I've had tonsils, adenoids removed, and my uvula removed, all because of, whatever. Anyway, I'm not going into it. But I do have a postnatal drip, yeah. Yeah, they do have them. I don't know whether they probably have them in Blackpool, I think. I don't think they do. Maybe they do around here. Maybe I just don't know about it. But I know in Manchester, because the homeless all used to congregate in Manchester. I don't know why everybody wanted to come to Manchester, but everybody did. And there used to be quite a few. There was like a Sikh place that used to feed them, they could go for free food at the Sikh place, but they call it the temple. And quite a few, there was like Coffee for Craig and that, people who do these, provide food, for a hot meal for people. Yeah, You could go there if you were struggling, if you didn't have anything. They would never turn you away. The Sikhs in particular are very, very generous people. If you go to a temple anywhere, a Sikh temple, they will always feed you. Doesn't matter if you're poor, you're struggling or whatever. If you went to a Sikh temple, they would feed you, yeah. They're notorious for it. They're the very generous people. And, yeah. You always eat the dessert first. Jane, that's not good. Think of your figure. Yeah, if you were in Manchester, any particular night, you always see them there. They like pull up in their vans or whatever. And they've always got food. It may not always be the best food. It may be sandwiches. It depends what they get donated. I mean, like a lot of these stores, like Asda's and Tesco's and that, they give what's left over. They'll give it to these people who then distribute it to the homeless. There's sandwiches that are due to go out of date that date, and stuff like that. And there's quite a few places who collect vegetables, that are perhaps a little bit ready for going off. And they make stews, like we were saying, hearty soups and things like that, that they give bowls of soup out to the homeless. There was a lot in Manchester that went on, an awful lot. I don't know. There must be around here. I just don't know about it. But, yeah. Oh, you can't. I mean, there must be in Blackpool because you're falling over the people in doorways in Blackpool. That's one of the reasons why I don't like going. It's not that I've got anything against the homeless, but I feel intimidated. Little old me on my tiny little scooter, I feel a little bit. I'll go with anybody else, so as long as I've got a backup, But I don't like going to Blackpool on my own because I do feel intimidated because people in doorways sleeping in, and it's not their fault. No, but it's just I feel intimidated by them because they'll come and try and panhandle you, for money and stuff. And, I just feel vulnerable, little me with my handbag and stuff, If my niece is with me or anybody else, I don't mind so much, but I just don't like I never like going to Manchester, to be quite truthful. If you stayed away from certain areas, there was like Piccadilly Gardens that used to be beautiful, fantastic gardens, lovely. Take your kids there, let them play in the fountains. It was fabulous. Until the spice addicts and what have you got started using it, and it got to be like a no-go area. You were frightened of going into the park. You wouldn't, the gardens, And it made that you had to divert round because, you wanted to go to the shops. The Primark would be there and the Lewis's and the whatnot and the Debenhams and everything. But you didn't like to go there because of these. And they were always fighting and stuff like that. Okay, no, we'll see you in a bit, Jill. I don't like donate. I will donate to a homeless shelter. I will donate my hats and things to a shelter. I will not give anything to anybody on the street because it's either going in the pub or it's going to drugs. I would rather give to an organisation that would provide them with new socks, new underwear, provide them with a shower and stuff like that. I would rather give my money to them, because if you give £5 to a homeless shelter, they can stretch that £5 to feed quite a few people. If you give £5 to a man in the street, he will just inject it in his arm or whatever, and it'll be gone in 2 seconds. Yeah. So no, I won't. I won't give to anybody in the street. Not that I'm mean. Not being mean. I'll give anything to a homeless shelter, but yeah, that's what I mean, Jean. You give a knitted hat away and then they want you 20 quid, yeah. I don't like when they sit near the cash machines. They just got any spare change. No, cash machines don't hand out coins. There is no spare change. Go away. You're not having a £10 go away. There's one here in Fleetwood and he sits outside this pub, and I have to go past him every week when I go to knit club, and he's always hello, and I just drive past him. And I'm thinking, he's the same guy. He's there every day, all the time. You know. I noticed the other day there was a guy there, old chap, with his beret on, armistice and all that, with all his medals. And he was saying, don't just sit there, go to so and so and so and so, they'll give you a lovely hot meal. And you can see it was going straight over this homeless bloke's head. Yeah. Oh, I saw a lady give one of the homeless guys like a pasty or something like that, and he just threw it on the floor. He said, I want money. Nice of him. Yeah, they do scare me a bit, because you never know if they've got mental issues. I'm not saying anything against anybody who's got mental issues, but, I'm not qualified to deal with if they snap at me or if they go off on one at me. I'm not equipped to deal with that. This is why I would rather give to an institution that will recognise the mental illness and maybe get them some help. I don't know how they run these things, but, I do intend, I've made a big pile of hats, and if they don't sell, I will donate them to a proper shelter. Or I also like to donate things, my personal things, like to, the battered women's people, or, the people with children that have, had to flee from a domestic situation. I've personally never been a battered wife, thankfully, but I've known many of, I won't say friends, but, friends on the fringes that have been in relationships where they've been scared. Too scared to leave, too scared to do anything. And the children suffer, and I've seen them with black eyes. I've seen, and thankfully I've never been in that position. I got verbal abuse, but I never got physical. At least I never went anywhere with a black eye, anything like that. But it is difficult, you've got children and he's the breadwinner and you've got no place else to go, These women and children, refuge, they're very, very good for that. If there's any room, they'll try and take them in, feed them, clothe them, look after their kids and stuff. So, I donated a big, I think I told you before, bagfuls of business stuff to a ladies' refuge. I wasn't going to wear them anymore. Yes, I could have sold them because they were decent stuff. It was when I was working and I could afford expensive clothes and stuff. But I just donated them all, shoes, the lot, everything. So I hope, I'd like to think they did, some good somewhere to some poor lady, yeah. I know. There was one that lived, I think he was living in where, Shaw, somewhere near where. And they actually realised that he was driving a car, getting in a car, driving away, and he lived wherever he lived, and he was, he was there begging and with his old clothes on and his old tatty things on, reckoning he had nothing, and he used to drive a top of the range car and stuff, yeah. It's like these women who pretend to be pregnant and they're wearing a false bump, aren't they? They're not pregnant at all. Yeah. Or people who look like they've got a baby. It's one of them reborn dolls, isn't it? Or it's a kiddie that's drugged. There's a lot of genuine hardship. Yeah, I'm not trying to knock it all. There is a lot of genuine hardship, but you can understand why people are wary when there's so many people who just like trying to pull the wool over people's eyes, Just trying to exploit, aren't they? That's why I say I will never give to anybody on the street. I won't give to any beggars. I bought people a coffee before today, give them a coffee. You know, they sat there in the freezing cold. I will give them a coffee. And if they don't want it, it's bloody tough because that's all they're going to get from me is a coffee. You know, I won't give them money for a coffee. I will give them a coffee. Yeah. Like you say, they just want it for drugs half the time, or they want it to. In the old days, it used to be alcoholics, didn't it? They were, well, not harmless, but you know what I mean. But it's the druggies. Yeah. Oh gosh, no. You. If there's anybody sitting near the cash machine, I won't use it. When I lived in Prestwich, I used to go into Tesco's and they used to do cash back at the till. I used to get my cash back at the tills. I never went to the hole in the wall ever. And I must admit, here in Fleetwood, I went Cleveland. Sorry, I went into the bank, and she said, "There's a hole in the wall outside." I said, "Yeah, I know, but I'm not using it. I'm coming in here. You know, can I not get my money here?" "Oh yes," she said. "Oh yes." I said, "Well, I prefer that. I prefer to come in the bank, and then there's nobody looking to see how much you've drawn out is and put in your wallet or something." You know, I'm always, you know, on the alert, on the wary. You know, I know it sounds horrible to distrust. When I worked at the job centre, one of the old guys that was been working there for years, he said to me, "Distrust 100% of the people who come in here, and 99% of the time you'll be right." And I thought, how cynical is that? After 10 years of working there, he was right. He was right. That's funny, Patricia. Yeah, offer him a job, you never see him again. I used to work at the job centre, tell you, trying to get people to get a job was hysterical. The amount of excuses they used to come out. It was a really bad area. Nobody wanted a job. It was just awful. And then I moved to a press switch to the job centre there. And I was absolutely amazed. And my line manager said to me, "Why are you so amazed?" I said, "People want a job." And she goes, "Yeah." And I went, "I'm not used to that. I'm not used to people coming in who actually want to apply for a job, who actually come in to look for a job. I'm just so not used to that." Yeah. Oh gosh, I used to hate agency work. We used to call it agency, job agency. I used to hate that with a passion. They'd offer people a permanent job, and the poor beggars would sign off and go to this, and they get 2 days' work, and then they lay them off. And then they had to come back in. And of course, if you know the length of time it takes to process a claim, it takes weeks. So the poor beggars would have no money. And I got to the stage where I used to say, "It's an agency, don't bother." And my line manager used to be saying, "You can't keep saying that to people." I said, "Well, what's the point? They're going to get 2 days' work and then they're going to have no money for 4 weeks while you sort the claim out." I said, "No, I'm not encouraging people to go." Yeah. Hi, Susan. Did you see where all the fall, everything fell down? It was funny. You have to laugh, don't you? Or you'll cry. Everything fell on the floor, and then I dropped the camera. Oh, Lord, what a day. I've got to get up tomorrow and try and gaffer tape and duct tape everything together. Yeah, I'll chat with you on Wednesday if I don't see you before, Susan. Yeah. Oh, it was a day of days, Nathan. It was, honestly. It's a good job I can laugh at myself, isn't it? It's a good job, you know, that I can have a hysterical laughing. Susan is one of my ladies from Knit Club, in case you're wondering who Susan is. We have as much of a laugh on a Wednesday night as we do on here. Yeah. We have hysterics. We can be crying, laughing some days. I mean, to say that people are like at the latter stages of life is not being rude, you know. But yeah, it might do, Lydia, you're right there. But to say that, you know, a lot of us are, you know, I don't think Susan is as old as that, but a lot of us are past our prime. That we have such a good laugh. Such a good laugh. Yeah. Don't we, Susan? We have a good laugh on a Wednesday, don't we? Especially with Mona. Mona comes out with some real statements at times, yeah. Yeah. Oh dear, dear. We were trying to discuss our Christmas menu on Wednesday. It just went pear-shaped altogether. Secret Santa was just baffling everybody, and we all got names, who we had to buy presents for. And it was hysterical. It was just so funny. So we don't have any money, but we do see life, you know what I mean? I love my nightclubs. They're such fun. I used to go to one, but that was the pits, I'd stop going there. It was dragging me down. It was so, nah. I thought I can do without this. So I found 3 others, and they're brilliant. Yeah. Yeah, it is more, you're right there. Like Susan said, it's supposed to be knit and natter, but it's more like stitch and bitch. Oh, I've frozen. Oh, no, no. My life is never boring, Jane, honest to God. It's never boring. Yeah. But I just couldn't get over the comment that I heard. I got told this. I've never seen this comment that somebody said I was depressing. Me? Depressing? I think they're thinking of the wrong person. But you worked in, I don't understand IT. I wish you lived over here. I'm an absolute technophobe. I'm really, really stupid when it comes to technicalities. Yeah. So please let me know if I'm depressing. When somebody told me that, I could not stop laughing. I thought it was funny. Oh, I did. I don't know. Maybe you could, yeah. Yeah, I could have understood if they said it was boring, because I was boring myself with some of the videos I did. But depressing? Hell no. I thought that was so funny. I said, who said that? And they didn't tell me. So I don't know who said it, but somebody did, yeah. You visit me in Fleetwood? No good consulting me with jobs. No, I know nothing. I'm one of life's idiots, me. I make a profession out of being an idiot. It's better that way. Consulting me on IT matters. Hello, it goes in that ear and it goes out the other. I wish I was more savvy with computers. I wish I knew more. I mean, I had thought when I was younger of going to one of these computer courses, but I never found the right one that did, hello, stupid, this is a basic one, yeah? Which is what I needed, yeah? Hello, silly, come along. They were all like, oh, this, that, and they expect you to know a lot of stuff, and you don't, do you? Oh, night, Susan. See you Wednesday. Yeah, what happened to night schools? You used to be able to go to night school, didn't you? And do a night school course. When I retired, when I was 60 and I retired, I thought, right, gonna go. All the things I've never had time to do, go to night school. I went in the library to inquire, because that was where you went to inquire. Oh, they've stopped doing them now. What do you mean they stopped doing them now? Oh, it was costing too much money. They don't do them anymore now. I said, well, it was all like subsidized classes when you were over 60. It was like, the OAPs. Let's get them off the streets and get them into doing something. So there I was, all prepared to learn sewing, computer, IT stuff. I was all I was even going to do photography and flower arranging. I had it all planned out what I was going to do. I will stop doing them now. That's nice, isn't it? You do select from some table, be patient for them, John. Oh, I know, yeah. I mean, I follow a lady called Crochet Rocks, and she does giveaways. And she's been not hacked, but somebody puts on the comments on her on her YouTube. They look like they've got her name. They even pinch her photograph. And it goes, you have been chosen as a winner, but you need to click on this link and da-di-da-di-da. It's not her at all. It's some whatever. Who wants you to click on something that probably sends you off into outer space. But I mean, yes. I mean, somebody tried to con me the other day. It was actually the name of one of my friends. Well, one of my friends on the outskirts, friends, yeah. You know, friends of friends. And she went, hi, how are you doing, Jan, and all that. And I thought, oh, it's funny that she's got in touch after all this time. I thought, well, never mind. I'll say hello back. Then it was, have you known you've been chosen as one of the winners for such and such thing? I thought, hang on a minute. So I went, no. So she went, da-da-da-da-da-da. And I went, hang on a minute. I said, you're not Annabelle. So there was a silence. Nothing came back. So I just blocked it. And I thought, I wonder if Annabelle knows she's been, well, not hacked. It's just that they pinch your name, don't they? You're going to go out the house. You got a long, long night. Right. Well, we shall see you again, Rick, if you're going out the house. Yeah. Somebody tried to scam me today. Yeah, she tried to tell me I'd won a grant or something. But then she slipped up because she said, I got so many dollars. And I thought, My friend Annabelle lives in the UK. She would have not said dollars. It would have been anything. I know it weren't true because they've tried to scam me before. Some other woman tried to do it on me before. And she would have put pounds, wouldn't she? She wouldn't put dollars because she's in the UK. So I went, hang on a minute. I said, you're not Annabelle. And there was silence. Anyway, I just blocked her. I don't think I blocked real Annabelle. I think I've just blocked fake Annabelle. Yeah. Oh, they do try it on. Try anything on. I once put a sofa for sale on. It was then in the paper as you did before all this Facebook stuff. Oh, the number of flipping phone calls I started getting. And then I started getting, the kind of phone calls you don't want to get as a woman or even as a man. But, I kept getting those phone calls. And I'm thinking, oh, they're pathetic. Have they nothing else to do but go through the lost and found and the who's for sale and stuff? Oh, yeah, have fun, Rick, at your birthday party. Don't forget to sing happy birthday and I hope you get lots of cake. I like birthday cake. I wonder if they'll get me one. I could hint. I would like a cake. I don't think they're going to be here, actually. I think they said they were going away because it's my daughter-in-law's birthday is about 2 days before mine, so they might be going away for her birthday. In which case, I won't get my cake, will I? They did take me out for afternoon tea last year, but it was supposed to be one of the big hotels in Fleetwood. I won't name it, but definitely not good. Yeah. Oh, God, yeah. As if. If they tried to scam me out of any money, they'd be very sadly disappointed. I have like a little, I limp along from month to month, let's just say. I don't think so, Greek stitcher. I don't think so. No. Not her thing at all. Yeah. No, I don't owe anybody any money, and I managed to pay all my bills, but a big bank balance is something that I could only dream about. But hey ho, I'm not bothered. I pay my bills, I pay my way, pay for my food, pay for it. That's fine. If I want an occasional treat for myself, like a pair of shoes or something, I can usually manage to find the money for that. But thousands in the bank, nah. They can't scam me out of that because I ain't got them. Yeah. Yeah. But I don't care. I don't care. I would care if I didn't have any money, but I mean, I'm £40 a month down because of that flipping scooter. So that's less money in my bank account, but still, we soldier on and we make it through, don't we? Yeah. But what bugs me about paying the £40 extra is I don't like the scooter. You know, if I like the scooter, I wouldn't begrudge paying the extra £40, but I don't like the scooter. Rosie's flat out asleep. Bless her little cotton socks. It's not, it just feels like it's swaying about, Lydia. It doesn't feel, I don't feel secure in it. I feel like I'm wobbling too much. It doesn't, when I go down a curb, it like goes like sideways and sideways. I don't feel happy. Oh, we used to get fake emails from, well, fake faxes it used to be in my day. Fake faxes pretending to come from, the CSA for the kids, And they were just lies, yeah. All right, Patricia, you're going to go. Well, thank you very much for joining us and hope you can join us again next week. So bye for now, Patricia. I have a cousin called Patricia, but I've not heard of her for years and years and years. She's the same age as my late brother, so I don't know whether she's still with us or without us. I did try and contact her son, but he didn't answer my email. Maybe he didn't get it, I don't know. I was trying to tell her when my brother passed away. I was trying to tell her because she was very close. She was brought up with my brother. But I couldn't get any answer. I'll try again one day to try and get hold of her son. He has a Facebook page or a what kind of page. Maybe he doesn't use it, or maybe he never saw my message. I don't know. I just would like to know for my own. She's my cousin, I just would like to know for family reasons whether she's with us or without us. I'm getting another big box full of photographs, so I am going to make a private page for my family on Facebook because I need to get the photographs from my photographs are upstairs somewhere. I need to get my son to reach them out for me. And then I can go through them because my son would just get rid of them all. If I passed away, he would just get rid of the photos. And I want them to go to members of my family that they actually, belong to. You know what I mean? Give them to my cousin's children, because these are all mostly my aunts and uncles who passed away, but their children and their grandchildren are still here. So I would rather, make a thing and say, do you want these photos, and put them in an envelope and send them off. I don't like history, being just chucked away in. To me, I like looking at the old photographs and looking at my aunts and even my aunt's dog from years ago. I like looking at them. It's history to me. It's part of my heritage, isn't it? I mean, I'm actually supposed to be getting the deeds back, the paper deeds from my old house. They were still at the bank. But it's not just a deeds to my house, it's a deeds to the surrounding area. And it just shows what was planned, which didn't happen. What was planned of the houses all around my area and what was planned with these streets that never got built. And to me, it's like part of Prestwich's heritage. So I wanted them back because I felt like some historical society in Prestwich might want them, might like them. I don't want to keep them, but I just want to look at them again, have a good look, see what they're like, yeah. And I said that to my niece, and my niece said, I'm sure some historical society would like them, yeah. So that's where they're going to go when I get them back. But things like that intrigue me. I mean, like this box of photos that my niece brought, it's got my dad's things from the war, like his pay slip, his whatever things. And I know of one guy who's really into World War II history and stuff like that. So I'm going to ask him, would he like them? Yeah, would he want to keep them? That's what I think anyway. I don't know whether you think the same thing, but that's what I think. If you like seeing old photographs of your grandmas, granddads, uncles, aunties, or is it just me? But I like that kind of thing. Maybe I'm just weird. I just like that sort of thing. Yeah. Well, after Patricia's gone, I think everybody's nodded off. It's gone very quiet. Oh, you like the old photos, do you? I love looking at them. I even look at other people's old photographs on Facebook. You know, and they put, this is my granny, or especially like today, or yesterday more particularly, because it was Armistice Day. You know, Remembrance Sunday in the UK. All these pictures of everybody's granddads came up, you know, uncles, aunties that didn't come home from the war. And, you know, I like looking at them. I have no idea who they were, no idea who they are. But, you know, you're thinking, oh, bless us, 18 and never came back, you know. How sad. All went off to war and didn't come home. I mean, I was lucky my dad did come home, but he was never involved in active fighting because he was on radar. He was a gunner. So he never actually got sent anywhere where it was active fighting. So I was really lucky that I still have my dad, yeah. Well, I did. Obviously, he's passed away now, but yeah. I feel as though I'm a bit over crochet. I crocheted so many shawls, Tammy. So many, especially the virus shawl. I had virus shawls coming out my ears, yeah. I think I'm just on a lull with my crochet. I'm making myself do a row or two here and there. I don't know whether everybody else does this, but I've just gone right off it at the moment. I'll get back to it. I know I've done it before. I've gone off for a few days or a week and don't want to touch it. And then all of a sudden I get inspiration again. And, you know, that's what you do, isn't it? But some people are every day they're churning something out. Every day they're showing something different. And I'm thinking, that's not me. I like that Unforgettable. It's lovely. I love the one, is it called Dragonfly? It's like turquoises and blues. To me, it's more like the colours of a kingfisher rather than a dragonfly, but I do love that, yeah. Sadly, I don't look like my grandparents. I think I look like my dad. I certainly don't look like my brother, and I don't look like my mother. But when I look at pictures of my dad's family, I think I'm more like that. I look at my pictures of my mum's family and I don't see myself at all, yeah. Michelle Obama's a knitter. Queen Victoria was a crocheter. She did crochet. It's amazing how many actors and actresses that you read about that do knitting and crocheting in between takes on films and stuff, yeah. You did 5 for your son's wedding, oh gosh. I can crochet quite fast if I've got a purpose. But at the moment I don't have a purpose. I've got enough for what I want to put on the craft stall. Like I said, my friend is doing all these wonderful crocheted ornaments. They're absolutely gorgeous there. So there's no point me doing the same thing. It's like we're in competition with each other, and we're not, you know. I'd rather do something completely different. She's not doing hats, for example, or hats and scarves or cowls, which I've done, yeah. The only thing I could do is, I think, could do with some baby hats, children's hats. Don't have any of them. So I've only got a week because it's next Saturday, yeah. Oh, Tom Daly, I wish he'd stick to diving. He's pinching everything, isn't he? He's getting himself known for knitting and crocheting. And Yeah, Carol, I'd like to think that they would keep crafting and doing, yeah. Because I think it is good to have a hobby, whatever your hobby is. You know, it is good to have a hobby because I think it's great mental relaxation, isn't it, when you have a hobby? I'm not suggesting that everybody has to crochet. It can be any hobby. It can be woodworking. It could be any kind of hobby, you know. But I do think it's good for you to take your mind off things when you're crafting. You tend to forget all the things that's going on in your life, and it takes you out of yourself, don't they? I mean, they say that knitting and crochet is very good for anybody. Things like that, you know, even Sudoku and that Wordle. It's good for keeping your mind active to try your best. Not saying it will work, but to try your best to keep your brain active so you're less susceptible to like dementia or Alzheimer's. I mean, I do think if you're going to get that thing, you'll get it. But I do believe that it does help to keep your brain active, yeah. Um, they say anything that involves counting, don't they? Knitting, crocheting, you know, Sudoku, like you say, Wordle, cross stitch, loom, anything that involves counting is good for keeping your brain active, yeah. Um, so, you know, I keep doing it, hoping. As I say, I don't think Alzheimer's is completely preventable, sadly. I wish it was, but it isn't. But I do think you can help to sharpen your brain up a little bit and stop being a cabbage, you know, by doing something, yeah. Oh, yeah, it is. Everything's good for depression, yeah. Christine's snoring like my son was snoring so loud just before I came on here that you would have thought somebody was sawing wood. It was that loud. We don't have a dishwasher. We did have one when we moved in here, but when we rearranged the kitchen, my daughter-in-law arranged the kitchen, and she didn't want one, so we didn't have a dishwasher. I've never had one, so what you never have, you never miss, do you? I've never had a dishwasher. I had a very tiny kitchen in my old house, big 3-bedroom house, but the kitchen was tiny, so there was never any room for a dishwasher. People said, "Oh, you could have got a tabletop one," but there was never even any room for a tabletop one. So I've never had a dishwasher. I've had 2 hands. That's my dishwasher, and I've got an itchy back. I've got an itchy back, and I'm looking for my back scratcher. Can I find it? Yes, I can. There it is. I used to be, until I had everything, as I say, removed. Oh, that's better. I had my tonsils, my adenoids, my uvula, you know, the clacker thing that hangs down. I had all the roof of my mouth lasered. I had all inside my throat lasered, all for medical reasons. And after that, they then said I had a congenitally narrow throat and I needed a breathing machine because I wasn't breathing properly. So that's why I'm on a CPAP machine, so I don't snore anymore. I have been known to snort myself awake when I've been sitting in the chair and I've fallen asleep watching the telly. So I must be snoring because I myself awake. I don't know anything about the people who bought my house because sadly I'm in touch with my neighbours and they're a really odd couple who bought my house and they don't mix them. Nobody knows what they're called. I know what they're called only because of selling the house to them. But no, they don't mix at all. And it's strange because my street was a lovely neighbour street. Everybody knew everybody. Everybody helped everybody. It was like an old-fashioned community. But these two seem to be very odd that's moved into my house. Well, they painted my woodwork lime green, so come on, you know. That is not normal, is it? You know, my interior, you remember my house, it was all like wood panelling, proper wood panelling, not the pseudo stuff. It was proper wood panelling. And it was all varnished and everything. And they've painted it all lime green. So, yeah, that says it all, doesn't it, really? I mean, I could have understood that they took it out, plastered the walls, because I was fed up with it, to be quite truthful. I was fed up with it, but I couldn't afford to have it replastered. I fancy painting it lime green. And they still had my curtains for about the first 12 months. They had my curtains up and down, and they weren't the best of curtains, but they had my curtains up and down, yeah. I believe they've changed the downstairs curtains, but the upstairs curtains look the same as what I had, red. Weird couple. But they were a bit hippie. You know, like the Socks and Sandals Brigade. You know, he had long hair, funny glasses, and she had long, flowing robes. You know, she looked like she was part of a commune. She was a weirdo, yeah. They paid for the house, so I don't care. But I can't understand why they're so antisocial. My son says, well, not everybody wants to mix with the neighbours, but they were aging. They must have been in their 30s, probably. And he said, what do you think they are? I said, vegan. She said, what makes you think that? I said, I don't know. I don't know them, but they look vegan to me. You know, the kind that should belong in a hippie commune, yeah. But I wasn't bothered. They paid for my house and didn't argue, so. They didn't even ask for a cut down or anything. They paid over the odds, actually, because somebody else was after it at my asking price, and they paid over the odds. I think they paid another 2,000 or 3,000 more than what the asking price was. So I wasn't bothered. I wasn't bothered. You got 75 degrees, and yet some places in the US have got snow. I know it's a big country, but there's a bit of a difference, isn't there? Is it the north bit that's got the snow, and you've got the sun down there in Tennessee? You see, over here, we're such a tiny, tiny island. We cannot sort of perceive how big America is, you know. They painted my woodwork, you know, my lovely, lovely woodwork that was shiny, and yeah, they painted it lime green. And they painted all the walls lime green as well. So it was like a big lime green room. Strange people. Yeah, the paneling, the wood paneling. It was all. I don't know how they managed to paint it, actually, to be honest, Nathan, because it was. My ex-husband was one of those, when he did anything, he was a perfectionist. So he must have put about 17 coats of yacht varnish on this wood. So how on earth they managed to paint over that, I don't know. It's all it didn't peel straight off. Because I'd thought about painting, not that room, but I thought about painting the dining room. Because we had wood paneling on the ceiling and one wall in the dining room. He went mad one year or whatever, wood panelled everything. And he even did the bathroom. We had the bathroom ceiling. Anyway, I managed to get that replastered. Took that off. But I would have had to have either sanded it all down to get it painted, or I would have had to have the room replastered, because taking it all off would have made such a mess everywhere. So I never got around to it. I just left it. But when they came, they loved it. And they loved my wooden kitchen, which was 30 years old. They loved it. They said it was retro. And they absolutely adored it. My son's going, are they mental? Are they mental? What, Joe would be happy with lime green? What, all around the house, lime green? Come on. I like colour, but lime green, no. Is it supposed to be an in colour? Am I out of things? Oh, they loved my carpet. And if you saw my carpet was about 25 years old and very, very retro. It was patterned all over. My son used to call it a pub carpet, because he said when you go in pubs, You know, that was the kind of carpet they had. And that was actually why they probably chose green, because my carpet was green with all these flora on. It was a blooming good carpet, though. It was. There wasn't a break in it. It was fantastic carpet. It was, yeah, it was either Axminster or Wilton. It was one of the two. It was a wool carpet anyway. It needed a good clean, but it was a fantastic carpet. And they said, "Oh, we loved your carpet." My son's going, "They are mental. Nobody could love that carpet." But at the time when I chose it, it was very fashionable to have a very busy carpet. And also, I had animals, so you know, we'd had a plain brown carpet for years, plain brown carpet. It showed every dog hair, it showed every little bit of fluff. So when I chose it, I thought I'm having something like, you know, I don't have to hoover every 2 seconds, you know. Once a week hoovering was fine. And they loved my carpet. It's never gone out the door, as far as the neighbours are saying. They've never seen a carpet man come. So it used to come up beautiful, Nathan, when I had it cleaned. I had it professionally cleaned 2 or 3 times while it was down in 20 years, obviously. And it used to come up like new. It used to be sparkling. All the cream flowers and that came up. Oh, it used to look beautiful when it was cleaned. Because I showed her the clean bit, like, you know, when I'd done the furniture, I showed them the clean bit. And I said to him, that's what it'll look like if you pay for it to be cleaned. Oh, it's lovely. It's lovely. I said, there's not a break on it. I said, it's fantastic carpet. I said, you won't get it at this quality. You know, no matter how much you pay, you won't. Yeah. And it was the same with my, there was one break in my dining room where one of the dogs or one of the cats had a go. But it wasn't that noticeable. Yeah. That would have cleaned up beautiful as well, because that Axminster or Wilton or whatever. They were pure wool, both of them. I mean, my upstairs carpets were rubbish. They were that cheapo stuff. And my stair carpet was good as well. There was nothing wrong with my stair carpet. I paid for money for the high usage places, you know, like the stairs and the lounge and the dining room. But the bedrooms, they were just plain cream. So they wanted a good clean, but there was nothing wrong with them, yeah. Well, I don't know. I'm thinking about it. If they were vegan, would they want a wool carpet? Would that be against the nature? I don't know. I don't know what vegans believe. I know they believe in not eating things, but I mean, would they want a wool carpet if they were vegan? My money was they lived in rented accommodation, but they'd saved up to have the deposit for the house. I think that, you know, by the time they'd paid the money out for the house, they maybe were a bit broke, you know. You almost choked on your coffee. Yeah, but they don't like things made with wool, do they? They think it's cruel. Now, I mean, sheep don't get harmed, do they, when they get sheared, you know? And they won't wear leather, will they? They won't wear leather. They won't wear wool jumpers or something like that. But I mean, a sheep is not killed, is it? You don't kill the sheep to get the wool. You shear the sheep, which it probably feels like, oh, wow, that's great. Summer's here, I've took my jacket off. You know, that I can't understand why they don't. I've frozen. Sorry about that. Yeah, I can't understand what their reasoning is why they won't wear wool. Well, as I say, it doesn't harm the sheep, does it? I can understand why people don't like Angora, because they pluck the rabbits. Now that is cruel. That is very cruel. If they pluck the rabbits to get the Angora. It's not nice. Would you like your hair plucked out your head? I don't think so, no. Am I still frozen? Oh, please tell me no. Please tell me I'm not frozen anymore. Please tell me. Oh, I'm not frozen. Oh, that's good. Thank goodness for that. Yeah. No, I can understand understand why they don't want to eat meat or whatever. But I don't understand why they don't want to wear wool. I can understand why they don't want to wear leather. Oh, yeah, well, never mind. Not so funny as folk, is there? But, I don't quite understand what they eat. They eat vegetable-based, like fish fingers, and vegetable-based sausages, and vegetable-based bacon. And I'm like, no, if you're a vegetarian, what do you want fake bacon and fake sausages for? What do you want that for? Just eat leaves. Real Greek food is vegan, but they're nuts. What, you mean they eat nuts or they are nuts? Yeah. Yeah, I see. I'm not a farmer. I don't understand about sheep having their tails docked. I would imagine that they dock a sheep's tail so that it doesn't get messy. Is that too bad of a discussion to have at this time of night? They get messy bottoms. Maybe that's why they dock their tails. I don't. I'm not a farmer. I don't. I never even realised they did dock a sheep's tail. I know I don't like dogs' tails being docked. I mean, our Rosie's got a weird tail, but it's not been docked. It's just weird. And of course, little Trixie's a French bulldog, so she has a little curly tail like a pig. You eat vegan like lentils. I don't know why they do a dog's tail. I really don't know. I wouldn't like a dog's tail to be docked. No. I'm not a fan of lentils. Beans and rice, yeah. And lentils, I don't mind them in a soup, or I don't mind a few in a stew. But I wouldn't eat lentils by choice, let's say. I wouldn't say, oh gosh, I'm going to do that. I mean, when we went to Greece, we ate a lot of fish, actually. It was usually swimming in a barrel. We had to choose it. I felt awful saying, I'll have him. And he's swimming around and then pick him out of a barrel. No. Yeah, we ate a lot of fish and chicken. Oh, and lamb. We had lamb kofta. Is it called kofka? Kofta. Hi, Judy. Yeah, we had lamb Is it kofta? It's cooked in like tin foil. Yeah. Kind of think what we ate when we were in Greece. I mean, we ate the moussaka, of course. Yeah. I like the fried aubergines. Whoa, they're lovely. So, hmm. You like vegan? I didn't. I actually bought some vegan cheese quite by accident once at Tesco's. I saw this cheese on offer and I thought, oh, cheese, I'll have some cheese. When I got it home, I realised I bought vegan cheese. It was quite rubbery. Maybe I bought the wrong kind of vegan cheese. I don't know. I've eaten stuff that's. Yeah, it was rubbery. Maybe, I don't know what it's made out of. What's it made out of? It was vegan cheese. How can you make cheese if you've not got any milk? That would worry me. What am I actually eating? You can't make cheese out of vegetables. You've got to make cheese out of some kind of milk, haven't you? Well, it's not soya, is it? Please tell me it's not soya. Well, what about your calcium levels if you're vegan? Soy. I don't like soy. Sorry, I don't. It tastes funny to me. I'm sorry, but it does. I have a back taste when I've eaten anything. At one time, before you had to label food correctly, if you went out for pub meals or something and you had a shepherd's pie or something, they'd mix a bit of soy in because it was cheap. So they'd put the soy in the gravy and that and pretend it were meat. And I used to get this awful, awful back taste. It's like I can't eat those yogurts that are made out of soy or whatever. Oh, you'd have to be dedicated. You'd have to go around saying, I can't eat that and I can't eat that. When you went out for a meal, what the heck would you eat? No, I don't believe soy's any good for you at all, no. But you know something? When I worked at Asda many, many years ago, I had to take a second job because paying off mortgages, stuff like that. And I wanted central heating, and they told me I needed a boiler and radiators, that they wouldn't put the boiler in without the radiators. And I just didn't have the money, so I took a second job working at Asda. And the section that was vegan or vegetarian was little like that. And I was forever going through the dates and chucking things away because nobody had bought them. So how things have changed, in the last 20 years, yeah. That hardly anybody wanted anything to do with soy. We were always throwing it away. It was going past its sell-by date and we were chucking it away. And you put it in the reduced section and nobody would buy it. It'd still be there. And it just shows how times have changed, isn't it? And when I worked at the wool shop, I couldn't sell or even give away circular needles. And look at it now, 20 years later. Everybody in it's on worms. But I could not give away my circular needles. Nobody wanted them. When I sold my shop, I sold it as a shop, not as a going concern. So I had to get rid of all the stock. And I finished up. I think I threw them down the tip, actually, all the circular needles, because nobody wanted them. Nobody wanted them. And everybody's going, you what? You what? You threw them down the tip? I said, well, what would I keep them for? I didn't need them. I never used them. So I think I gave some to a lady who had a wool shop. She didn't really want them. I could tell she didn't really want them. But I don't like soy. It tastes funny. I don't care what you mix it with and tell me it's chicken, or you tell me it's mince. It's still soy and it still tastes like soy. Yeah. But you eat a lot of corn, don't you, in America? Corn oil, corn syrup, corn whatever. I don't think we do in the UK. They grow rapeseed, I think, over here, but what the heck they do with it, I don't know. But we cook with like vegetable oil, or we cook with lard. But mostly it's vegetable oil or olive oil over here that we cook with. Well, they were big. They were great big circular knees. You can buy them in all different lengths. I think 16 used to be the smallest one we sold, but of course they do them smaller now, don't they, for socks? I mean, the lady at Knit Club was knitting on a circular needle. It looked about that big. She was only knitting a kiddie's sock. But I thought, that is so small, it was hardly worth having. There was more pointy bit than there was cable in between. We used to sell the odd circular needle for, yolks and stuff. Oh, I don't know. It tastes awful. I've tried almond milk. I don't like nuts anyway. But they thought I was lactose intolerant. They were trying all sorts of things when I had the stomach troubles. And they tried like soy milk and they tried all kinds of things to get me. And I said, God, I'd rather have a stomach ache. Oh, I used to use four needles. Everybody used four needles. Long ones, about that long. Oh, you like our wool shops? Yeah. They're not like I think I've not seen all American ones. I've only seen American ones on videos, so I can't speak. But they all seem to be like racks and just things just thrown into racks. It looks really scruffy in a lot of the supermarket things. You know when people do a tour of Joann's or a tour of Michael's, they just look a bit sort of scruffy. Everything chucked in. But having said that, I've looked in Hobby Lobby one time, and that looked a bit. That's our UK one, and that looked a bit scruffy. But the proper little wool shops, like I used to have, they're all pretty neat little cubicles and everything's neat and tidy and stuff. Um, Hobbycraft, that's it, not Hobby Lobby, Hobbycraft. You get little bob things that fit on the end, Lydia. Stitch stopper things. They're like little hats and you stick them on the end of your needles to stop everything falling off the edge. I knit on 5 needles when I knit socks, yeah. I can't knit on worms. I just knit on little. Yeah, Hobbycraft is not cheap, no. I watch, like I said, Crochet Rocks, and she goes to Hobbycraft quite a bit, but she only buys things that are in the sale or reduced and stuff. I think she buys a lot of stuff to test out to see whether she wants to put them in a wool thing. Yeah, yeah. I wish we had more craft stores here. That sold all different kinds of crafts. Because we don't have a Hobbycraft for miles around here. Yeah. Um, they're whatever miles away, aren't they? But I believe I've only been in one once. It was in Bolton, I think. I went in one once. I have looked on Tracy's website. Yeah, I did have a quick look. Yeah. Um, when she has her offer of the week on a yarn of the month or something, yarn of the week. Yeah. I didn't want anything, which is why I didn't buy from Tracy's website. But the prices were, quite on par. Especially when she does the 20% offers off and things like that. Yeah. But I'm actually trying not to buy anything. So I've not been to the one in North Wales. It's quite smallish, really. But I believe the Abercarn in Wales is brilliant. But I never got to go because I've not driven for donkey's years. I've not driven since I was about 62. So I let my license go when I was 70 because I couldn't be bothered renewing it at that price. So I do most of my shopping online, apart from this Naked Sheep, which we've got in Cleveland, which is good. It's a proper wool shop you can go into. She's not the cheapest, but she does have offers on certain things. But I do like going in because I like to actually see things, and then I may not buy them, but I've seen them. Then I may look what price they are online and weigh it up. Yeah, it's called Naked Sheep. I got recognised in the Naked Sheep. Yeah. Somebody tapped me on the shoulder and said, "It is you, isn't it, Jan?" What? She said, "I recognised your voice." So after that, when I went in there, this guy says to me, "Oh, you're quite a celebrity, aren't you?" He said, "You've got these lives and stuff." And I thought, "Oh, my fame is spreading." I've only been recognised, I think it's 3 times in my life. One time was actually in Abercarn. A lady stopped me in Abercarn and said, "You're Jan, aren't you?" And I went, "Yeah." And then another time I was in Woolfest and somebody spotted me there. Oh, and I got recognised at Yarndale. Um, Linda Simpson, who comes on YouTube and that, she was there with her husband buying some um, hand-dyed yarn. She spotted me. No, they didn't want an autograph. No, I'm not that famous, Nathan. I'm an also ran. I'll never be I'll never be one of the big boys. I left it too late for that. I'm happily just toddling along, being a nobody. Yeah. Oh, I shall never allude to being, like Bag a Day and what she called Claire Crochet. People like even Tracy Crochet Crowd. No, not Crochet Crowd. Crochet Rocks. I'll never be one of them. Yeah, my video content is not enough to be anything like that. I'm quite happy. I'm quite happy if people say they watch me and people say they enjoy me. I'm quite happy with that. I'm not one of those who wants to grow their channel or whatever. I don't want to go on other people's channels and say, subscribe to me. I'm on here because, I'm on your live. Come on to my live. You've got to do this. You've got to sign to me. And I would hope that the subscribers I've got come on here because they want to. That they like what I do, then that's what they come on for. I don't want to grow. A nice, yeah, I think the Naked Sheep's more like a mum and pop type shop, yeah. Ooh. People here are struggling, to pay rent on. I mean, lots of little shops that used to, There's a beautiful shop in Manchester, if ever you get to Manchester, if you're in the UK, called Countess Ablaze. She only sells hand-dyed yarn, her own hand-dyed yarn. She doesn't sell any branded stuff, just her own hand-dyed yarn. She's quite expensive, but oh my goodness, her yarn is absolutely beautiful. Yeah. Sign up to Patreon. Oh, no. I wouldn't do Patreon or Patreon. Rosie's just opened a door somewhere. I've got nothing else to offer people. I think if you design patterns, you can say, if you're one of my Patreon, whatever it is, members, you get first choice of a pattern or you get a free this and a free that. I don't have anything to offer, Nathan, so I wouldn't do it. Why would people want to be a Patreon of mine? I just don't subscribe to it at all. I mean, there's one lady and she does some lovely patterns, but then she'll say, it's only available to my Patreon subscribers. And I'm like, well, don't bother then. I would far rather pay somebody. One for Rosie. I'll open her an Instagram, shall I? I would far rather pay whatever dollars people want me to pay for buying her pattern. I don't want to $5 a month, $10 a month, just for the odd chance that she might have a pattern that I like and I can get it cheaper, or I can get a first chance to buy it. I still have to buy it. She doesn't give them away. I still have to buy it, yeah. What are you doing, Rose? Oh, she's gone upstairs now. That irks me. That really irks me. It puts me off that person, to be quite truthful. If they say you can only have this pattern if you're a member of my whatever. No, I don't do that. I'm not that money-minded that I want extra money from people to support me every month. No, not me. Not me. Yeah. I would rather think that people come on here because they want to, I don't want them to have to pay me to come on here. No. What am I going to do? Sing them a song or whatever? Or they may pay me to shut up. I don't know. But no, I'm not into that. The most I ever did was I used to do that Ko-fi, buy me a coffee, and about 4 people bought me one. But I just stopped doing it. It wasn't. You got £3, I think, every time somebody bought you a coffee. I think I got 4. Bought me all in all, yeah. But I mean, that didn't seem too bad because that was a choice that people made. You know, they could either buy me a coffee or they couldn't, you know. It wasn't like, oh, if you come on my channel, you have to buy me a coffee. It wasn't anything like that. So, but I just stopped doing it. I couldn't be bothered with it. Yeah. Yeah, we'll make an Instagram for Rosie and Trixie. Black Friday on my birthday, is it? Oh my goodness me. Does that mean I'm a bargain bucket? Yeah. I'm going to be 77. 77. Sunset Strip. Boom, boom. Age is but a number, isn't it? It keeps creeping up on me, though. Mentally, I am nowhere near 77. Mentally, I'm about 35. Physically, I'm still young. I like to think. I mean, at one time, we're talking about grandmas and granddads. At one time, I'd have been a living miracle getting to 77 because the poor beggars used to die in their 60s, didn't they? 77 balls old, don't you think I've got enough in the shed, Tommy? Your sister's birthday's the same as mine. Well, you can't forget me then, Nathan. Somebody else is the same birthday as me. I used to think it was Tina Turner, but it isn't. No, can't remember. I shared it with somebody, but I thought it was Tina Turner, but I don't. It's probably some obscure opera singer or something I've got. If anybody knows any famous people with the 25th, that I can say, oh, I've got the same birthday. You know, any stars, any movie stars, anybody, you know, got the same birthday as me, I doubt it. I get Nathan's sister. No offense to your sister, but she's not exactly Tina Turner, is she, you know? Now, I know I share it with one lady on Facebook because we always say happy birthday to each other, even though we don't really know each other. I sort of know her vaguely. But, you know, friend, a friend, yeah. Tina's is the 26th. Ah, see, you see, she has to be different, doesn't she? Nobody's got the 25th except Nathan's sister. And a lady called Jane, who I say hello, happy birthday to every year, and she said it to me. Well, Christina Applegate, she's the 25th, is she? She's not very well, is she? I read an article about her. She's not very well. Didn't she have breast cancer or something? Or am I dreaming? I know there was one of those things I was supposed to click on, but I didn't, and it showed her in a wheelchair. But I don't like clicking on them link things in Facebook because it takes you anywhere, doesn't it? You know. Or I get this website is suspicious. Don't click on it. Yeah. Oh, Joe DiMaggio. Yeah, I like him. She got MS. I knew she got something. She didn't look well at all. Yeah. Diseases are no respecter of people, are they? No matter of their age or no matter how rich they are, they still get it. The only thing is if they're rich, oh, hello. If they're rich, they can get the best treatment. I think that's about it. But it doesn't stop them getting anything. I mean, look at all the stars that have died with cancer and stuff. UK medic getting it done a catnap. Remember UK medic, don't you? Or cat rap, sorry, not a catnap. Strictly fans have been left complaining about what I don't know. What they're complaining about now. I don't watch Strictly. Test delays, wardrobe blunder, whatever. Have I seen Vera Wang lately? No, I haven't. No. I keep getting this stupid message on here saying something about my SMS is supposed to be upgraded or something. And it keeps stopping me sending messages out. And I don't know how to get rid of it. I'll give my phone to my son, see if he can get rid of it for me tomorrow. What's she done, Vera Wang? Is she ill? She what? I wish Doris Chan would make some more patterns, but she doesn't seem to design anymore. Mind, she's getting on a bit. I think she's older than me. Princess Victoria of Saxe-Coburg. Oh, I think she's dead now, though, 1876. I think, bless her, I think she's gone. I keep getting this message, Nathan. Required that I link my SMS or something to something or other, and I can't get rid of it. I don't know why it keeps giving me this message. Let's see if it comes up again. Let me see if I try to type something to you, Nathan. See if it comes up again. No, it hasn't. I keep getting this something about an SMS that needs to be linked to something. I don't want to link it. Stupid message. Oh my goodness me, look at the time. Christina stretched on the couch snoring. Is that you answering me, Nathan? Oh, Vera Wang. Oh my goodness me. I wonder what she looks like without her dark glasses on. I don't think I could wear that outfit, Nathan. There'd be a lot more of me. A lot less outfit. It's not come up again, that message. It's something to do with SMS or something. Keeps telling me. My SMS isn't linked to something daft. And it's not doing it now. They don't do it when you want them to, do they? I was talking to somebody before I came on live and it kept flashing up this message all the time. So, yeah, required permission to access SMS is missing. Please activate. And when I'm trying to use Messenger, it keeps going back to something else. There we go. Please grant permission to access your SMS. No, I won't grant permission. It'll be in the settings, will it? I don't know. I'll get Arian to sort it tomorrow. You know me, I am technophobic. I need Rick or whatever he's called. Well, I did about a row and a half of my crocheting, didn't I? So I did do some. I have to hide it because of Rosie. Now, when they weren't here, it was great. I could leave my crocheting out. But now, if I leave it out, Rosie will have it all around the garden. Because she's a little monkey's uncle for wool. I could use filters, but it wouldn't be me, would it? You know, people would eventually see you as you really are, wouldn't they? You know, when you use them blurry whatever, like they do on the adverts for face cream. You know, Dame Helen Mirren does not look like that in real life. And neither does Judi Dench, you know what I mean? And they're like, oh, Jane Fonda, I mean, she's 80-something. She doesn't look like that. It's not a face cream that makes her look like that. It's facelifts. Yeah, you know. could all look years younger, couldn't we, if we do that, and get you whatever. Oh dear, I look Chinese, don't I? No offence to the Chinese, by the way, but I do look Asian if I do that. See, you get lines there, don't you? You get rid of that. You get rid of those lines, but then you get lines there. Oh, Madonna, she looks disgusting, doesn't she? She has really gone too far. She's getting a bit like what she called Donatella or something. That is going too far. Shaving her eyebrows off, she looks ridiculous. She does look ridiculous. She's going out with a 38-year-old man. I mean, for goodness sake, she's in her 70s now. Yeah, I mean, Dame Judy, she's, bless her heart, she's in her 80s, isn't she now? She does not look like she looks like on the adverts, does she? Do they think we're dumb that if we buy that kind of face cream, we're going to look like Jane Fonda? I don't think so. I've got this rosy glow, she says. Yeah, right. You've had a rosy facelift, mate. She's probably had about 2 or 3 by now. Oh, Donatella, she wasn't that bad, was she, before she started? Is it Cher that's going out with a man after it? What's going on with them? Are they that insecure that they've got to parade around with some young fella on their arm? I wouldn't want to do with a 30-odd-year-old man. What the hell? I think there was something wrong with him if he fancied me. If he was in his 30s, I'd think, hello. Does he think I've got money or something? It's not natural, is it? She might look good, but she's not natural, is she? How many plastic surgeries has she had? Bum lift, ribs removed, and goodness me, it's a wonder she doesn't have a moustache because she's had everything lifted. I can understand why people have a little bit of work done, but not when they look like they've been in a wind tunnel. I wouldn't. If I had all the money in the world, I would dress nicely and I would have my hair done nicely and I would have my makeup done professionally, but no. I might have those non-surgical, where they just electrode you. But no. Oh, those big lips. No. Pneumatic lips, aren't they? But not being funny, but don't you think that a lot of the young women look alike? You're looking at a celebrity with the long blonde hair, the pneumatic lips, and you're thinking, who is it? Is it such a body? Is it such a body? Because they all look the same. I have to look at the name underneath to see who it is these days. I mean, at one time, everybody looked individual, didn't they? They looked like themselves, didn't they? You look at all the stars of the old days, the real Hollywood stars. They all had a distinctive look, didn't they? They didn't all look alike. But now all I see is long blonde hair, big hoopy earrings, big lips, and they all look alike. And I'm like, who is it? It's like her who went in the jungle and came out again. Who the heck is that? Who the heck is she? Oh, I've got another message. I've got another message. That is so funny. Oh dear. I hope that's a filter. Yeah, but why do they all want to look alike? Why do they not want to look like an individual? Oh gosh, yeah. I mean, a woman in her 20s, unless she's got a facial disfiguration from an accident, birthmark or something, a woman in her 20s does not need plastic surgery. I'm sorry, but she doesn't. She doesn't need her eyes doing. She doesn't need her lips doing. Doesn't need her cheeks doing. When I think back when I was in my 20s, I was never a beauty, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I was. But I had flawless skin and I didn't have any wrinkles or anything. You know, there was no way I would have even thought I needed any work done. You know, okay, I was never a beauty, but no amount of work would have turned me into a beauty. If you know what I'm saying, it's just, you should be happy in your skin, shouldn't you? You should be happy with the way you look. I mean, as I'm getting older, yes, I look at myself and I think, oh my God, I've got a wrinkle here, I've got a wrinkle there. But I'm getting older. It's just a natural process. I may not like what I see when I see extra wrinkles. Think, oh gosh, that wasn't there yesterday. But it's the imprint that life puts on your face, isn't it? It's character, it's whatever. And I think this is what a lot of young people are taking out of their faces. They're taking out the natural character. They're taking out features that are individual to them, you know. They're taking away the fact they used to look like their mum or something. You know, it's just, they don't need Botox when they're in their 20s. I'm sorry, but they don't. Unless you've got facial paralysis or you've got some medical feature that means you need, I mean, you know, some people have Botox for migraines, don't they, and things like that. I think that, you know, you can understand that, but to have it just for vanity's sake, it's just, no. Oh, I can't understand it, no. I mean, like, when you look at films in Hollywood and somebody's supposed to be a grandma, you know, unless you're watching the Beverly Hillbillies, they don't look like grandmas, do they? You know. Yeah, Sharon's done too much, and she's mucked herself about. You know, it's you know, sorry, but no. Oh, I don't like them brows. At least, and now they're shaving them off now, aren't they? And making them blonde or something. At one time it was like beetle brows, wasn't it? And now it's all shaving them off and bleaching them blonde or something like that. You're like, what's going on, you know? I mean, my eyebrows are going skinnier and they're going like grey, but I just put a bit of pencil on them, you know. I don't like them tattooed ones either. They look like they've been, you know, two slugs on crawling across their eyebrow. And I'm thinking they're going to regret that, you know. Like people who have lip liner tattooed on and people who have eye stuff tattooed on. You know, I'm like, why? But they all look alike, is what I'm trying to say to Tammy. They don't look like individual people anymore. They've all got long blonde hair because they've got extensions in, haven't they? And they all look alike. You know, and you're like, who is it? Why do you all want to look alike, you know? When I was young, I used to strive my best to look different to everybody else. I wanted my own style of clothing. I wanted my own whatever. No, I mean, you can understand that, Lydia, if you've got a reason why you don't have eyebrows, but to muck about with them when you don't have a reason, you know. I can understand when somebody's had chemo who's lost their eyebrows. I can understand them having them, you know. But if I did have my eyebrows tattooed, I'd want them tattooed like a very, very pale colour. I wouldn't want big black beetle brows, you know. I'm not fair by nature, but I'm fair by bleach and whatever. So I wouldn't want big black eyebrows, yeah. Oh, they've all got fake tan, haven't they? Fake tan, fake boobs, Botox, fake lips. eyelashes that look like, a big caterpillar's crawled all over them. Oh dear. And they all look alike. These must be these great big swoopy eyelashes that they have glued on. I'd be terrified of glue next to my eyes. Yeah. Oh no, I don't like that microblading. I think my daughter-in-law's had it done, I think. No. I did have my eyebrows dyed once, but it was only, very light brown. I had them dyed. But whatever. No, I just don't like. Yeah. It's back to the 20s, isn't it, when women like, the eyelash extensions. I once had fake eyelashes because I was going somewhere to a dance or a posh do or whatever, and I thought, I'll get fake eyelashes. I was walking around like that because of the weight of the eyelashes. I couldn't open my eyes properly. Everybody thought I had something wrong with my eyes. I thought that's the last time I wear eyelashes. Yeah. Well, mine are pretty pale now. I just put, if I'm doing my makeup like I did tonight, I just put a bit of eyebrow pencil on because they're quite grey actually, a very pale grey colour. And they just look as though they disappeared. But most days I don't bother because my fringe covers them up. My bangs, if you're in America, my fringe covers them up, yeah. But, yeah, I can remember, what was she called? Oh, God. Mrs. Simpson, yeah, that's it. And Bette Davis and people like that used to shave their eyebrows off, didn't they, and pencil them in. That's when that used to be. I mean, I plucked my eyebrows so much when I was younger that they don't grow. They used to meet in the middle, so I plucked and plucked and plucked, and I plucked them. I had really heavy brows when I was a kid. Really big, thick brows. Like they'd be fashionable now, but I used to pluck them out and pluck them out, so I've got hardly any left now. Right, Jane, I shall see you next week. I'm going actually now because it is 1:45 nearly. I've been on for 3 hours and 42 minutes, which is rather longer than usual. She probably does do a Sharpie pen. I tell you what, I've got a Sharpie here. Shall I draw mine? Maybe I could use it for eyeliner. Use a Sharpie pen. Save on a bit of whatever you call it, wouldn't it? Anyway, people, thank you very much for keeping me company. As I said, it's been a very funny old day with me dropping the camera. Oh, I've frozen again. I think it's time I went. Dropping the camera and making a video. So happy I'm going to keep freezing now, so I think it's time for me to go. So I shall speak to you all very, very soon. Thank you for keeping me company, and I shall speak to you very, very soon. Bye now. Bye, everybody. Bye.